SaturJay afternoon. For that is, of course, what it is. It is the SaturJay, and we are going to be doing some SaturJay RPG. And that RPG, if I can spot where it's disappeared off to, is, of course, going to be World of Final Fantasy. And I fear there will be no sucky lemons here. No, I can't help but think I don't know of a sucky lemon monster or character within Final Fantasy. However, I was astonished that I don't think anybody seemed to recognise Lemonhead from Monkey Island, and I did a fairly decent rendition of Lemonhead from Monkey Island, and nobody seemed to understand, and that was very disappointing to me. It was like people just went, "Oh, it's not Sucky Lemonhead, it's Sucky Lemon, of course." Did Sucky Lemon happen, or was it a fever dream last night? I think it may have been both. I think there were elements that were definitely some kind of fever dream, and elements that were not. Because Sucky Lemonhead, that one was okay.
Hey,
it was the massive cock lemon.
I know. An anchor.
Or the cock man, or whatever he was. Was he supposed to be a cock lemon? I think he was. Lemon, a lemon with massive cocks all over his place. All over his face even. That unfortunately did happen as well, I think. As much as it would be nice to write it off as a fever dream, I fear a lot of that did happen. But we are... I don't think there's anything else I need to figure out here. No, we're all good. I should really change up my stacks in the not too distant future. Just to... Oh, I need to push A to enter, you dopey dickhead. Dopey dickheads. Ooh. Oh, there's some dark-looking people around here. Are these actual vampires? The Tome Town of the Ancients. I mean, it does look like a tome town, doesn't it? Because the roofs are made of books.
I have absolutely zero use for this.
Well, you never were too keen on the printed word.
Should read more books, Lam.
Anyone's going to be burning through any paperbacks in this light.
It's true, it's dark.
The town is awfully dark. I mean, I know it's the land of naught but night, but it's still too early for the town to be sleeping, right?
Well, there was at least a few people roaming around, but they did look distinctly dark. Like, even just looking from them from behind, it looked like they were proper dark people. See? Like dark people with cat's ears. There we go, there's another one. I think they might be demons. Or vampires.
What's the matter? Huh?
Or just cat people, I suppose. It is plausible. No, that's looking distinctly vampire. Oh, I don't recognise the trousers. But you never know. Oh, I should have recognised the trousers. It's the one. It is the only. It is the unbelievably cute Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, of course. Where on this occasion, I know. I think in normal occasions his sword is bigger than his body, but in this scenario, it really is. It is super bigger than his body. Chibi Strife, that's the one. Caught me off guard for a moment because my brain went, Strife? No, it's Cloud Strife. It just took a few seconds longer than it should have for my brain to figure out what you were referencing. Come on. No, you come on. You come on. I want to go to the disgusting looking masked creature in the middle of the room. I didn't ask to be forced down your path, Cloud. I don't want to be anywhere near you, Cloud. Actually, I do want to be near Cloud. Cloud's awesome. I must admit, it was Kingdom Hearts 2, I think, that was proper hardcore, giggling schoolgirl levels of fantasy. When they did a massive scene towards the end. Was it towards the end or towards the middle? I can't remember. But nonetheless, they did a fantastic scene where it was Squall and Cloud fighting these things, and it was brilliant. It was a brilliant scene, and I loved it. I loved it. So these are officially vampires, and these are werebats, which we've already encountered. So if I try and scan an official vampire, just Make sure I am actually aiming at the vampire. That would be embarrassing if I scanned the one I already know about. We shall see what his weaknesses are. Who would have guessed his weakness would be light? Dark attacks, though, would provide a prism tunity. So, do I actually have any dark attacks? I don't think the answer is yes at this point, but we'll just double check in the official sort of thing. Wind attack. What were your thoughts on wind? You're resisting wind. Water and light is what we need. Neutral. I mean, that's not terrible. What were your thoughts on fire? Indifferent to fire. So, if I do want to just sort of hellfire the bunch of you, that would solve my problems. Hellfire solves all problems. Well, it solved 2 out of the 4, which is not too bad. If they are vampires, you should hit them with onions. No, garlic. Garlic's the correct one. Although a lot of the time, nowadays, of course, they've sort of suddenly realised that it does feel a little bit embarrassing, this idea that this species is sort of humongously weak to garlic. So a lot of the time nowadays they negate that one and just go, yeah, that was a weird rumour from years ago. No, not Sonic Wing. Sorry, I want the full energy ray, please. Energy ray me. Has got a lovely beam sound to it, doesn't it, that one? Now, the question bodes, A, they're practically dead. But are you going to absorb darkness, or are you... No, you're just highly resistant. So those are 2 crucial questions. Do I have... I had a feeling that was the way I did it. Do I have a darkness item? If the answer is no, which it appears to be, the answer is no, fuck them up and kill them then. That's the dish of the day. I wouldn't necessarily have said no to capturing one, but I have literally no darkness to my name at this time, so I cannot physically capture them. Also, I have an extra large on me. No, I don't. No. Who, what, where, and when? Was it the Behemoth? Yes, I think it was the Behemoth. I think I know how to get an extra large, but I haven't actually got one just yet. So, that's fine.
Keepers? Right. The giants from the hills.
Indeed, we are the giants from the hills.
That's us.
Very difficult to suggest we aren't giants from the hills, considering how large we are, but still.
Then come with me.
What if I don't want to? What if I don't take well to little orders from little tiny chibi cloud? Good lord, this looks complicated. In fairness, I don't think many of their dungeons are that complicated, so it looks like a complex library. I probably won't actually have to go round it all that much, I don't think.
So, who are they?
Ah, Celeste! That is Final Fantasy VI, I believe. Always willing to be proven wrong, but I am 99% certain that is Celeste from Final Fantasy VI.
You don't mean from the prophecy?
You think
She was a
you could fill us in
mage
on
warrior.
what's been going on
Well,
here?
at the very least, she was a mage.
Where to begin?
And she wore barely any clothes, in fairness. She's still wearing barely any clothes, but...
So that anchor appeared out of nowhere, then the mirages?
Yeah. The League of S sent me here. I was supposed to just be investigating the anchor.
But by the time he arrived, the vampires were already running amok. I'm told that it
Secondary
was
main
chaos.
character of Final Fantasy VI, yeah.
You didn't see it?
I'm a hired sword, and my job in
fair,
Town is
in
to
that
guard
case,
this
both
place, the library
both
of the
main
ancients.
characters of
So
Final
rarely
Fantasy
do
VI
I
barely
find
wore any
myself stepping
clothes, because I don't
outside.
think...
And it's always quiet here.
Oh, good
Nothing seemed
lord, I
amiss,
can't remember the
at
name
least not until
of
town
the
had already
main
been
woman.
overtaken.
She barely wore clothes as well, I don't think.
Where's...
Oh,
I assume
You
just in
over
the
there,
general world of Final Fantasy... Terra, that's the name, that's the one.
Sid? Are you
And
here?
Sid! Which Sid, though? There's been so many Sids.
Sid?
Sid.
You don't answer
I feel like
me,
it might be
I
Final
am
Fantasy
going to
VII
burn
Sid,
all
because
of these
that
books.
that feels like the most iconic... Oh, no, that's a completely new Sid. That's unacceptable. That is an unacceptable Sid. Well, I say it's a completely new Sid. I don't recognise that Sid, because it's a little robot thing.
Weird thing.
Then what if it's a mirage?
I've
You've been
often
hanging
wondered
around
the
with
same
that
thing.
fox creature.
Incredibly rude.
and you're discussing that thing as a weird talking creature. Could you maybe not do that? Which Sid is best, though? Not that one for sure. No, absolutely not this one.
Yes, he does have a habit of
As I say, I think the most iconic one, which would be Final Fantasy VII Sid. And I think, to a certain extent, that is one of my favourite Sids.
Yes, well.
Because I do like his sort of grumpy...
Trust me.
Grumpiness mixed with... I do quite like his spear. He uses a spear, I believe, and I thought that was always... That always felt quite unique. There have been several spear users throughout Final Fantasy history, but it's not... I don't think it's as common as you think. I can only...
Just so you could keep reading forever?
I immediately think of two that spring to mind that are distinctly speary. Well, no, that's not true. Well, no, okay, no, I think no.
Someone just happened to leave that
Also, that one doesn't count.
And somehow his soul got embedded.
Freya from Final Fantasy IX uses a spear.
I guess in a way, you are human.
Final Fantasy IX, is that? It was Sid the King in Final Fantasy IX, or am I getting confused? I might be getting confused, perfectly willing to accept that, but... The Oglop. Was that Sid in Final Fantasy IX?
The giants from the hills? Now that right there is the real stretch. I mean, what a hoot!
What a what? Oh, Tom is not an owl. I mean,
That's not-
is an easy mistake.
That's not what the phrase means,
Wouldn't you
Lon.
assume she's a skunk or something first?
No, you would assume fox.
You call me the
Very obviously a fox.
That is the last straw. I am the fragrant. Roses line up just to get the one whiff of me. What really stinks is your whole stupid existence.
You don't have to be ashamed of people thinking you're skunky. Skunks are cool, okay?
Time out. Wildlife coolness aside, could you not derail every conversation just because
Regent Sid of Lindblom, which is probably one of my favourite FF cities, huh?
Vocabulary's not a verb.
And yes, then, I believe that is the fellow who turned into an Oglop.
So can it before I vocab you in the Larry.
I see now you're comedians. Bravo!
Enough. We have more important
I'm
things to
kind of on your
discuss.
side this time, Cloud. Enough of you two nonsense factories.
Okay, let's get right down to it. Those people back there with the fangs?
And was
What is
also
the
briefly
deal
a
with
frog.
them?
Oh, right down to business. Vampires. They used to be people like
They don't do
us,
frog as much
until a
nowadays.
vampire bite turned them. Huh?
Now wait.
Since Final Fantasy IX, I
tell
don't
me
think
that
they've
people can
used,
turn
or
into
frog
mirages.
and toad, I think. Toad is the more...
To the way they were?
Oh, well, while
Is
we're
the
going
status
back, when
element,
I was
I think,
younger and
but-
even handsomer, I mean, oh yes, I remember clearly now. According to several books I have read, those who have become vampires can be cured, provided the vampire that sucked their blood is vanquished before it's too late.
But this
So
feels
then,
like an ideal
all we
opportunity
have
to
do
bring
is
in
move
Vincent,
fast
but I
and
don't
take out the
remember.
vampires that did the biting?
I don't remember Vincent
That's the
being in
basic
this
idea.
game, so...
But of course, those vampires used to be just as human as their victims. So if we're not careful about it...
Oh, did they bring it back in Final Fantasy VII
We
Remake?
managed to save in the end?
You know what, I played a lot of Final Fantasy
remakes.
remakes. I'm
First.
surprised I don't
You're not
recall
really
it,
living
but
anyway if you've never known the comfort of a good book.
maybe I managed to
No,
avoid
I don't
it.
think that makes you
Although
eligible
that seems
for
unlikely.
slaying. But point taken. We can't save everyone.
It gives me an excuse to play Final Fantasy VII Remake again, which
What are we supposed to do?
I don't
What
need
if
that
we
much of an
defeat the
excuse to
first
play Final
vampire?
Fantasy VII
The
Remake
one who
again.
started the whole thing.
The
I
first?
absolutely love that game.
That's
I do rather look forward to
If
the
you
next
trace the
part.
epidemic back,
I'm not sure precisely
there
when
has to
that
be a
one's coming
first.
through.
Yes.
Because there's
Let's
several,
go down on
there's
the
several
train.
high-end
If we
Final
defeat
Fantasy
the
projects that
Prime,
I really
then
like
the
the
rest.
sound and look of.
Yeah.
I do rather
should
like
cause a
the.
ripple effect and
I want to
fix
have a
everyone.
go of the
We would be
Origin
vanquishing the Bitey's biter's biter.
one.
What do you think? Will it work, Sid?
Well, it hasn't been
Then
particularly
against the
long since
Sahagin.
promotion started,
Okay.
so yes, I believe that it could.
I remember the Sahagin. I just don't remember the
What a
frogs.
plan. Did
But yeah,
you
it's.
follow that,
I think it's like Final Fantasy Origin,
Of course I did.
which is a second retelling of the first ever game or some such.
All right.
Looks like it
So,
might
where can
be
we
a little.
find Prime?
Both of these, in fairness, both that and Final Fantasy
Prime.
16 look like they've got
When you fight the
dangerously
vampire
close to
Have
Dark
you
Souls
noticed
territory,
any
but I'm
patterns
hoping
to where they seem to go?
they've veered enough away from that to not be
I never gave it much thought,
tiresome.
that
But
you
yeah, Final
mention
Fantasy 16, the
they
Origin
always seem to
one,
retreat to the
and
north.
Well,
7
that points to
Remake
one
2.
place.
That's right. The
The
graveyard with all the
As a
abandoned
mini
mirage
Buster Sword, that
trains.
is fantastic.
That's their lair.
That's the
Then
sort of
let's not waste any
thing
more time.
I
We should
imagine
go.
was perhaps something they wanted to do in Final Fantasy VII, but just didn't have the polygons to do. And therefore they sort of went, well, we'll go with the easiest one. And then when Remake came around, it was like, yes, yes, we redo this, and we do it really well.
Okay, putting aside how completely not funny that is, we can go to the graveyard for you, right?
Huh? Yeah. Vampire schmampire. You just go ahead and point us at any old mirage.
And we'll do the rest.
Damn straight, we are professional mirage hunters.
I guess.
Let's see what the fabled giants can do.
I'm fairly confident Cloud is
I'll take you to the graveyard. Just say the word.
Pretty certain Cloud is a medal, the summon medals. But I can't say the same for Celeste. I'm not sure if she gets to be a summon in this or not. Seems almost unfair that she's not, but they don't do literally every single... Oh, okay, I may be stuck, but no, we're okay. Luckily, I found my way back. Monsters lurk in the pages. The shell has a metallic luster, shining a beautiful shade of green. But beneath the beauty of the shell are 6 grotesque legs that shuffle in a disturbing manner. But subtly shaking its tentacles, it sprays a viscous fluid on its prey that hinders movement. Weak against fire. Okay, let's hope if I encounter one of those, I recognise it and remember. The glare coming from the only half-exposed pale head is menacing indeed. It is said that the eyes are the windows to the soul, and these gleaming gold eyes expose a soul seeking nothing but annihilation. Brings death upon one whose level is a multiple of 5. You leave now. You go away, you nasty, nasty creature. I hated that move. Nope, that's the wrong dude. That's the right one. There we go. Girl's Diary, entry 6. We'll have to have a look at that in a moment. As I say, what I might try and do is... Oh, there is another document here. Upon first glance, this creature resembles a tribal mask of sorts. Then again, there are not many tribal masks that stand on legs sprouting from the face. Its appearance from a human perspective is off-putting at best, and horrifying at worst. It emits a flute-like sound that affects the hearts of those who hear it, making their blood rage with a singular desire to fight, weak against fire. I must admit, of all status ailments, it can prove troublesome, but Berserk is one of the easiest to live with. And in fact, sometimes, you know, it's not even a negative. Sometimes you want to apply it to one of your fighters. I remember Squall from Final Fantasy VIII frequently. It would be beneficial if he just went mental and Berserk. Because you get the boost in attack with Berserk, but the downside is they do nothing but attack. You have no control over them, but sometimes all you need them to do is continue to attack. Upon a sturdy human physique sits a bull's head, and from the shoulders sprout the wings of a demon. Its wind attacks have a wide range, allowing it to attack multiple enemies at once, weak against fire. There's a lot of things weak against fire here, I would say. Thus concludes the list of monsters known to dwell within the pages of books. Why these creatures choose or are chosen to dwell within books remains a mystery, but books are records and records are evidence. I have developed a hypothesis that the gathering and compilation of records can prove the existence of something yet unwitnessed. This book is dedicated to the reader who examines my records in the correct order to prove my theory. Interesting. I don't necessarily think I've got a clue as to what the correct order is. But I suppose we could possibly have a closer look. I don't think there's any books here. Hello, sir.
Ever heard of death magic?
I have. I hate death magic.
No matter how many
I hate death magic with a burning passion.
Scary stuff, right? But if you run stacked, you might be able to keep the damage to a minimum.
Berserk is a great spell. Berserk Haste, yes. On your party, and Berserk Blind on enemies. That is very good. A very good idea. But yes, I certainly know Berserk Haste. Berserk Blind I don't necessarily go for that often, because I find putting Berserk on an enemy can sometimes backfire. But the Blind, I understand where you're coming from in the Blind. The idea there is they can't hit you. Yeah, I must admit, I don't know if it's going to be sort of like one of those ones where you got to do it in your... Yeah... I don't know if I can be asked. Especially because I'd need... Yeah, I think possibly what they're asking you to do there, unless it turns up elsewhere and there's some further information within this library. But I do get the distinct impression what they're asking you to do... Oh, I suppose actually the bloody... is it there? No, prism case isn't what I'm after. No. So I think, yeah, I think you'd have to go all the way back to... Ugh. Oh, I don't know if I can bother to do that. No, I can't. No. Oh, no. But if you're wondering, what I think the idea is to get some bonus of some kind, you need to identify each of the monsters on these shelves, and then possibly look them up in your Monsterpedia thing. Which, as I say, I don't think you can access just generally. No, that's tutorials. That's abilities, stack setups, mirage boards. Yeah, I don't think you've got access to it without going all the way back to 9 Hills, and then I have to know the monsters in question and I identify them. And it's just... Oh, no. I don't want to. Oh, there was an examine. What examine are you asking me to do there? Ooh, the Azure Prophecy 933. Demons shall one day assuredly be called. Their might will be great, 2 powers wielded as one. The world will tremble before this dyad, and yet will their handiwork be evil or good? And demons suggests evil, but hey, look, that's demonist. So you never know, some of them might do decent things. At the end of their grand epoch, they shall lay themselves prostrate and become the foundation of peace, a brief lie, an enduring hope. Anything else of interest around here?
I'll take you to the graveyard. Just say the word. I'll be around.
What if I don't want to go to the graveyard? What if I want to go through that door? Have you ever considered that, Cloud? I might not want to follow you to a graveyard. Oh, there's another examine. 1461. Empowered by destiny, the giants from the hills shall mark upon history a new epoch. This dawn shall portend the awakening of the mediums, a reveal. I really think of Reveille now. That's not Reveille, by the way. That was just a random trumpet. The haves and have-nots shall see their fates manifested and their natures revealed. And lo, it shall be Ragnarok again. An end that with the new champions will begin. To whom will this bring salvation? To whom, I tells you? To whom? Well, I suppose, actually, to whom, I question? To whom? I will dimmed, for Ragnarok is coming. I suppose I should do some due diligence over here, just in case there's some interesting thing. I suppose arguably we should probably right to the back, because, you know, nooks and crannies, that's where they store their chests. Nooks and crannies, and that's where you get the best of items. No, we haven't got the ability to go in. No, we can get a little bit tighter. Right, go on, Cloud, take me to the graveyard. Take me down to the graveyard city where the ghouls are here and the vampires aren't pretty.
I wish I could help you guys fight, but they need my help.
You could. Tried hard enough.
Are you sure you'll be able to face the Prime on your own?
Yeah, it's fine.
I know we got off on the wrong foot, but I think you've seen by now we can handle ourselves.
Look, I'm practically your twin.
Yep. You
Because
just
I
worry
was
about the
given
town.
massively spiky hair as well, Cloud.
If things settle down, I'll come find you later. So, next stop, the train graveyard. You ready?
I admit, Train Graveyard, I think, might be a Final Fantasy VII location. Or based on. I don't think... None of them are literally the location, although I haven't said this. This one looks incredibly close. Yeah. This one might just be completely pulled from Final Fantasy VII.
Here we are. Welcome to Vampire Land. Also, they don't live here alone. there are other things too.
There's all sorts of nastiness in this. In the Final Fantasy VII remake, the boss in this area was nasty.
Getting that graveyard
Kicked the
vibe.
living crap out
It's
of me
like
a good few times. Oh no, I didn't mean to leave. Cocky bum. Cockiness is here again. It's here again. It's your cockiness. I thought I'd found a secret item, and it turned out I had not found a secret item. Let's do a cheeky little save. Cheeky little save, just in case, a cheeky little save. Do a little save here, do a little save there. Do a little save over there, and then do one over here. Every opportunity you get, do a little save before you forget. You technically just... no! Matron, why would you make me... Why would you force me to have a thing I don't want?
What? You kidding me?
Bullets. Also, do we know those guys? Yes, we do. Imps. We have inflict confusion. I feel like I've got an imp, but I cannot say that with absolute certainty. So I never actually officially welcomed you. I know it's been quite a significant period of time, and I never got round to welcoming you. But nonetheless, I officially welcome you now. Welcome, Mr. Butternut. How are you today? And are you up to anything interesting? Are you Final Fantasy XIV again? Because I believe you were ploughing your way through that rather fervently. But you never know, you may be doing something else. Now I've got to do shift around. Prism case, please. Thank you. Right, well, we've got to decide who we want to get rid of in favour of trying to pull out something with Zap. I suppose arguably, I only just changed Robobottom, but, Are you 100% sure Zapper doesn't have Zap? I mean, the fuck is called Sapphire? I genuinely don't think he's got Zap. Does his little friend have Zap? Yes. Would it be worthwhile dropping you back down to Zaps then? I think the answer might be yes. But then I'm trying to work on... nah, that's fine. Stream on the TV while playing on the Nintendo Switch. Ooh, what are you playing on the Nintendo Switch? I have recently, on my Switch, I've recently been playing a game called Grand Guilds. And I don't know if I could necessarily recommend it, but it has been quite compelling to play. It's just one of those... It's one of those games that is just janky enough to be okay, but a little too janky
Nothing can surprise us
to
now,
be sort of truly excellent.
Is that a ghost?
If that makes
Gotcha.
sense. It's got the healthy amount of jank where it's not so bad that you go, I can't play this.
Alrighty,
It's
let's
awful.
go.
Come on, bring it.
But it's definitely got some jank to it. But as I say, it is quite a fun game overall. So yeah, that's just vampires. We've fought vampires before, and yeah, I definitely must change up my stacks. I might look at the giant side of stacks and see if I can't do something a little bit more interesting with the giant side and be the giants for a little while. Just to give Ifrit and Vale for a little tiny break. Spoiler alert, they don't actually need to take a break. But the next one, I did pick up one recently. It was in the sale, and it was a samurai story or something.
No, thank you.
Kamakatana or some such, I don't know. It's got a distinctly Japanese name. And, oh yeah, we wanted to have a look at the girl's diary entry. I asked Dad if there was anything we could do to help Mum out, but he just laughed and said we were already being a big help by chipping in with the housework. Doesn't he get that I want Mum to work less? And that was it. That was oddly disappointing. Stack set up. Stacky wacky woo. Right, so I don't necessarily know if there's much I want to do with this stack. We could bring Blue Boosh in. Must paint. Oh, basically it's must paint or Blue Boosh. I have very limited mediums, it would seem. So I guess you might as well have the flyer. And then you might be worthwhile. Yeah, you could have zapped just to be a bit different. You can have zapped on top of your head. And then this one, you're going to need, I guess, Mr. Blue Boosh. Oh, I suppose he probably had Zapper on him. Yeah. Ah, Slay the Spire. Yes. Magnificent game. Absolutely magnificent. I like some of the sort of ones that it's also sort of clearly spawned, which is stuff like Grifflands. Grifflands is quite good. And the other one, I don't actually own the game, but I played the demo and it was very entertaining, which was Fights in Tight Spaces. That was quite entertaining. They've both got sort of elements of Slay the Spire. They're not necessarily sort of point-blank rip-offs, but they are equally quite distinctly sort of... Yeah, the guys have seen Slay the Spire, put it that way. Grifflands, however, I think had a slightly more unique element that I quite liked, which was the sort of argument system. Same fundamental idea of using the cards to do things, but it's rather than full-on fighting things, it was this sort of argument thing where you had to sort of concern yourself with trying to not like necessarily disprove their arguments, but it was just an interesting system and setup. But Slay the Spire was exceptional. I know Mr. Malice Caliber, who I often sort of advertise towards the end of the streams. He goes through phases of heavily playing Slay the Spire, because it is just, you know, it's a fantastically balanced, beautiful little card game, and it's got that roguelite style where you just have a run. Did I do well? No. Have another run. Did I do well? Yeah. Have another run. And each run is just a little bit different, and it's quite pleasant. But yes, I do love me a little bit of Slay the Spire. Oh, that needs someone who can whack things. Do I have someone who can whack things? Abilities, I suppose, is the key thing. Yeah, Strolling. Do you whack things? No, I don't think so. Do you whack things? No. Flutter, Stroll. You flutter. No, nothing doing there. Not strike, nothing obvious. Do you smash things? No, I don't think you smash things. Do you smash things? Ah, you might smash things. We've got Joyride, but I don't think we've got actual smashing. It's quite frustrating, in fairness, because you'd think, of all people, you know, giant fucking Behemoth could bloody well smash something, but still. Picked it up on sale for £8 a few weeks back and have been hooked on it since. I don't blame you. Have you got all of the characters, out of interest? And even if you don't have all of the characters, have you gravitated towards one of the characters you do have? If that is more than one. I think you start with more than one. I'm not sure now. I can't remember. But anyway, have you gravitated towards a character that fits your desired playstyle a little bit more, perhaps? Obviously, they're all very good to try out and use, but I still think you do, when playing the game, you do find yourself gravitating towards a certain style. And I believe, I can't remember the official name, but it's this sort of, it might be an assassin, but it's the one with all the stabs and poisons and stuff. The Shivs, primarily. The Shivs. And she became nicknamed Stabitha on Mr. Caliber's stream, and it's sort of stuck. I now can't think of her as anything other than Stabitha. But it's because you can you get builds with that character which are just tons of shivs. So you are, and shivs are free. So you just shiv. You are being shivved to shit and back. I will shiv the living shit out of your shoulders and anything else that begins with sh.
Honestly, I'm more impressed
fast he knows the word locomotive.
Hey, don't
A
besmirch
choo-choo
Lan.
train. Because it's got fangs. Fangs that chew.
Yep, no, that was an awful
I
joke.
need a pillow to
I don't
cry
actually
in.
know the beginnings of the joke, but it's still nonetheless an awful joke. Even
There's
not
just
knowing the
no-
beginnings of the joke, I'm confident it was awful.
There's just
Do-do-do.
no hope for
Oh,
us any the more.
I thought that was a path. It was not. Yeah, I was going to say, let's all just lie down and die after
Yeah,
Lan's
we got this.
terrible
Guess we're
joke.
doing this.
Do-do-do. Shivering nut eaters. Got all 4. I'm assuming only 4. I only know off the top of my head. No, yes, I can. I can think of the 4. So yeah, as far as I'm aware, there's only 4, but I haven't played it in a while, so there may be more. I think the one advantage of having it on PC, possibly, I cannot guarantee this, is I think I am. If there is a new character, I might get it first because I'm opted into the beta version, which I think allows you to get a couple of extras a bit early. I believe that I was able to be playing the old
There's just no hope for us any the more.
woman with the sort of orbs character. No, she's not the one with the orbs. It's she's the one with the sort of balanced and aggressive style. So, builds with all of them at one point in time or other. Nice. Have you completed it, or are you yet to get your first completed run? Or have you completed it many times? Obviously, I mean.
Come on, bring it.
Let's
I know
begin.
it's more a question of have you completed it at least once. Because I'm not sure. If I have, it's not that frequent, I don't think. I lose way more than I win. Which I suppose is arguably part of the game, but I feel like I probably lose a lot more than the average in terms of that sort of game. But still, there you go. Look at them flapping like a good one. Flapping like it's going out of fashion. It's because it's quite a fast flap there, and then when you hit turbo mode, it's just flapping like a good one. I've got to fight against Heart once, but I'm yet to actually beat it. I can't, as I say, I can't fully remember. I feel like I have beaten it once. But
Predictable.
hand on heart, I couldn't necessarily guarantee that one. I wouldn't necessarily want to swear by it, you know? I wouldn't swear on my life. Put it that way. But there's a part of me thinking, I think I've done a little bit. But yeah, that's... I don't have a smashy monster. Oh, you arseholes. You want me to have a smashy monster. Oh, hello. Zapped just found me a little bit of something. Nice, a gold hourglass. Is there any hope for the Mirage boards? There is some SP lurking around, but none of them on creatures that look like they'd smash things. I fear there is no smashing available to me at the moment, so we'll just have to go through and... truth be told, it's probably going to be left unsmashed, because I doubt I'm going to remember to go through every single dungeon and smash things at that point. I feel like, am I going to want to... Are you going to jump on... Yeah, okay. I was going to say, because it feels like this is going to distinctly be a train we have to go up on.
Startled me.
It didn't startle me because the game automatically located the characters on top of the train car, and it would have had no reason to do that if we weren't going to go up or down on the train car. God damn it, there's another smashable there. Am I going to find that one of the paths is actually going to require smashing? Because in fairness, the entirety of
Guess
the
we're doing this.
area is requiring zap, so maybe they are just going to insist on zappings. I feel like somewhere I've probably got Cure there, since I've got lots of Cures inside me. But there you go. In one fight against it, I nearly beat it first try. Nice. My Stabby Shiv guy had a build that was almost invincible. That's always the problem, though, isn't it? You think you've got a good build going, and then the game informs you that no, you don't. Enjoy not being able to win. But some of the fights do sort of, if you don't get the exact right thing you need early doors, they can get out of hand very quickly. And that is the point where everything gets troublesome and you cannot do much. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, surely I've got Cura somewhere, but it did feel distinctly like I didn't, but I must admit, I need to try and put the Cura on the shortcuts, because I don't really want to... I prefer using the shortcuts, truth be told. I think when I first played this game, the first time around, I frequently relied heavily on the classic view, but I must admit I've gotten slightly more used to the idea of using this sort of... Oh, that is on there. Wait, no, it's not on there. Don't be a douche. There we go. Cura on there. That's what we want. Basically, we want any kind of team maneuver, which is denoted by the little free stack of those. What you want is those on your shortcuts, because that's the only ones that matter. So you've got Thunderer, Shell, and Thunderbolt. You've got... Okay. Oh, you've got quite a few manoeuvres and not enough shortcuts, which is slightly annoying. Bravery, I think, would be quite useful. Libra, it would be nice to have Libra constantly, but look at this. Topple strength medium, but then again, oh no, that's not the case. Inflict neutral, physical, and poison. I'd like to point out, I'm putting them on the shortcuts, but that doesn't necessarily mean I lose access to all the rest of the attacks. It's just easier if they're on the shortcuts, so I can still use punch. So it doesn't make that much difference, but I just want to sort of make sure my shortcuts are as decent as possible. Nice. I'm surprised I don't have Curaga available, because if I'm understanding correctly, and I'm fairly certain I do, one of my stacks is Lan on top of, with Blue Bush on top, with Tamar on top of Blue Bush, which means you've got Cure, Cure, and Cure, and I could have sworn that was supposed to stack into sort of maximum Cure, but apparently not quite so much. Doesn't technically matter, I suppose. I leave it alone and don't care, but... Okay, so that's the train there, but in order to do anything with that, we would need the slam again. Oh, I see. I think it is now insisting. Bollocks. Big bollocks. Hefty bollocks that you just can't carry by yourself. The sort of bollocks that are going to make you forever top heavy, and therefore you're always falling over. But equally, the sort of bollocks that the moment you start falling over, they drop in front of you and act as a safety cushion. And they are so big and so bouncy that you just go boink straight back up to a standing position. And that is how your life is now for eternity. Your life is just forever going, oh fuck, these bollocks are too bounce. Oh fuck, these bollocks are too bounce. And that is your only mode of transport. Just sort of slowly bouncing down the street on your bollocks. We'll just try and get through the battles quite quickly, because we'll have several billion more when we have to come all the way back here. Cura, gonna get some Cura going. Could do with some healing spells on both stacks, but unfortunately I have not got those. So
Well, that ought to do it.
I should build better stacks, is what I'm saying. I'm not going to, but I should. But I think I'll either have to get rid of Jaws or Robo-Bottom, I fear. Because I don't want to get rid of Valafor or Ifrit, because they are my favourites. And I don't necessarily want to get rid of any of the others, because they're mediums and smalls. If I'm getting rid of anything, it has to be a large base, because I've got several of them. It's a shame that there's one train there that train car clips through as it goes down. It's one of those ones that just makes you go, that doesn't seem like a difficult fix. So that's disappointing that they didn't fix that up. Because all it really needed was you to just subtly move the rear train. There was no... It feels like there's no difficulty in that. But I suppose maybe nobody noticed until now. I'm the first to ever notice that it clips through the back train in the background. I can't imagine that is true. But there you go, indeed. Doughy Bowser body. Have you got a Bowser body? No, it's just the way I walk. You slam that bad boy. Ow, don't hit me. Don't hit me. I don't appreciate it at all. Now keep punching. Can we get there? No, we can't. It's a shame. I was hoping my speed would outpace them something drastic and therefore be able to get in there, but still.
wasn't so bad.
Diddly-dee-dee-dee-dee. Bung-ding. Bung-ding. Did you really? Just gonna have to travel back to the entrance. Because, you know... See, this is where there's a slight flaw in this game, and they could have improved it slightly by warning you that you were going to need smashing as an option. If they'd set up... So, it's not too bad with the zap, because they established that immediately. The entrance was blockaded to you because you needed zap. If they'd done that with the smash maneuver as well, it would have been vastly superior. Because, of course... Oops, that's not what I meant to do. What do I want? I want abilities somewhere online. Yeah, available abilities... Oh, I suppose it's probably both 1 and 2. Monkey? No, I don't think so. Golem. That seems plausible, but... No, okay. You, little golem? No. Do you slam things? I don't actually know what the manoeuvre's called, which is, of course, slightly awkward. There's the bear monster. But even that doesn't actually slam things. Am I going to find out that I literally don't have the manoeuvre? Or don't know what the manoeuvre's called? Not knowing what the manoeuvre's called is going to be problematic, I imagine. But, I'm assuming it's some kind of like slam or smash or something. But, oh, okay, that's not... Right. I'm reading the wrong screen for starters, which is not helpful. Right, available abilities. Here we go. Stroll. Throw stone, protect, no. Body slam, no, that's a maneuver. Red fang, strength, salt, vigilance, sizzle, yeah. Revivify, interesting. Joyride, crits plus. Yep, I'm beginning to get the distinct impression I don't actually have something that features the maneuver of slamming and smashing. Smash! Okay, so we'll just have to bring my dragon instead of me, literally me, the dragon. We'll have to bring my dragon instead of my shark. Just double checking that that did actually turn up. Yes, good. Excellent. And let's just, before I get all the way there and discover it's not the right maneuver, let us just double check this situation. Smash. Remove obstacles through brute strength. Marvellous. So we do have one. That is excellent news. Have we actually ended up getting... No. So what's the mirror jewel you're advertising? Oh, Agility Plus. It's not the worst. But I think we'll wait until level 40 to unlock the new slots and see which gems we want to insert into them.
Look who's here!
We've got the advantage.
We're here. And there's nothing you can do about it. Do we want to do something fanciful? Let's do Thunderbolt. This is the point in time where I find out they absorb it. No, okay, we're fine. No, in fact, if anything, it clearly wasn't a weakness because I think they specify, but it did wipe them out in one turn, which is rather spectacular. Robo-Bottom has leveled up, and that's exactly what we want to hear. I always like to hear that my Robo-Bottom has leveled up. It's now going to be on top, which would actually mean it would crush us, which is not what you want in life. Mostly because it would equate to death. Just wonder if the traffic light was interactable. it was not. Which is a shame. Which is a shame.
Alrighty, let's go.
Come on, bring it.
Do you have any weaknesses, you little bats? Only holy. Oh, holy and fire. Unfortunately, I've gotten rid of all my fire. Oh, very annoying. Well, you can be thunderbolted as well. Pow! Flyers do have a tendency to be sort of weak to... oh, I do have some fire there. Yeah, foxfire as well. And fire there, yeah. So who's that who's wielding fire? Oh, me. Me, personally. I am, you know, Larn, not technically me, but... let's do a chocobo kick just to let Blue Boosh have a bit of fun, kicking a bat in the face. And as we know, that's what he spends his weekends doing. He goes off, finds a bat, and just kicks him in the face. Most people say it's cruel, but, you know, he's not been caught, that's the problem. The RSPCA suspect him. And they follow him, but he's very wily. Whoops, I dodged. Or I guarded instead of attacked. Not convenient.
Good job.
Do. And somehow he even sort of bypasses the bat's sonar, because you'd think the bat would be aware of his presence, but he's so silent that he ends up just clinging to the wall, clambers up the wall, and then sort of hoofs it over the roof somehow. Nobody knows how, but he manages to get past the wall, up the wall, across the ceiling, and then just bat, and the bat gets kicked in the face. There we go, a little bonus treasure just for me. Phoenix pinions. I think penis. Yes, penis. I think penis is the weakest of them, but I get the impression actually in this it's going to be the upgrade. A small amount, moderate amount, yeah. And Mega Phoenix is usually the best one. But yeah, I feel like in previous ones, the pinion has been the lesser form of the Phoenix Down, but I might be wrong. I don't know. I do know. Although I think actually the Phoenix pinion in one of them,
Let's make this good.
I think it might be 8. I think that was how you unlocked. No, I don't think it would be 8 because that would have been a Guardian Force. Means it's plausible. Yeah, plausibly 8. But there was definitely one where you unlocked Phoenix by using, I think it was a Phoenix pinion from your inventory. So I don't know that for certain though. Nobody can say anything for absolute certainty. I've got tranquilizers, so I can send things to sleep. I could just regale them with a tail. That would surely send them to sleep. Long, there you go, mate. A little bit of teleporting there for you, but at least you didn't get stuck going up the hill when we were supposed to be going down the hill, because that's just awkward. It's an awkward situation when you find yourself sort of going the wrong way. Well, technically I was always going the right way. It's only Larn that was going the wrong way. I suppose they probably just ignored the idea of the clipping. I'm going down again just to confirm that I was correct about the clipping situation. Yeah, it does. It clips through that train at the back. And I'm assuming because they thought it's so quick, nobody's going to make a fuss. Well, they were wrong. Phoenix Pinion in Final Fantasy IX was used to teach Phoenix to Aiko. After it was learnt, every Phoenix Pinion in your inventory added a % chance to res everyone on a game over. I must admit, I didn't know the second part, and I didn't technically know the first part, so arguably I didn't know any of that. But no, I probably, once upon a time, I probably knew about the Phoenix Pinion being used to teach Phoenix to Aiko. But I definitely didn't know the % chance to res everyone on game over. I didn't know about that. But I do feel like there is another one. I do feel like there's definitely another one where the Phoenix Pinion was used. Whoops, this is going the wrong way. Please stop going that way. So yeah, we definitely don't know what that thing is, the Maud Skull. So we'll try and Libra the Maud Skull. See if we can get in there. Right, no. wrong way again. Inflict oblivion. So awkward, not impossible. So I'll tell you what, let's try and kick the bat to death. Well, slice, claw. Technically it's sort of clawing with Larm. Because now it's really Larm that's doing the most primary attack. And he's got a massive gauntlets. Boof! He sort of slashes at the enemy. And they get covered in piss and they just go, oh no, I don't want this anymore, I'm leaving. Pretty sure FF8 had Phoenix. FF8 Phoenix had a % chance to prevent a game over as well. In either game, it's pretty rare to say yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not doubting, I'm just trying to remember is the key thing. Does the Chocobo... That's the wrong button. Does the Chocobo kick actually have much in the way of topple strength? Medium, so not... It's the best option for toppling I've got with Larm, so we might as well go for it. And then your incisors were about the same. I'll double check in here. See if I've got something. Topple strength medium, incisors was medium. I must admit, I think I probably just want the punch because it's going to be slightly weaker. And by weaker, I didn't mean it would fuck you up and over and stuff, but still. What did Chocobo kick? You could quite feasibly play through both games without seeing it happen once. That is, I don't know if that is true or not, but I'll take your word for it. I know they certainly do have it sort of rare, but quite that rare I'd be slightly surprised. But then again, some of those, the earlier Final Fantasies, although having said that, some of the later ones as well, but they do choose certain slightly obnoxious design choices in areas, and that is the sort of area they definitely would limit to being so rare that you barely see it. Right, there we go. Now we've got the right tools. I can smash through the thing. Again, I do wish they'd warned you when you went into this area that you would need smash and zap. It would have been a much better system, I would put forth. Yeah, Tama! What's wrong with Tama? Okay, we want to go up here first.
It's a rail yard, not a you-know-what yard, okay? Let's get our terminology straight.
What? I don't know what Tama said in the first place. Because unfortunately the dialogue sort of... It's nice having sort of dialogue in the background, but it really does sort of end up in the background when you're doing a load of battles. When every piece of dialogue gets sort of interrupted with battles, it sort of becomes a bit more of a kind of, I'm not really quite able to keep up with every single piece. And especially me, I suppose. My attention span is limited, to say the least. We've seen that with my inability to see everything on the screen. Considering it's all on the screen, you'd think you'd be able to see it all, but I managed to miss it all anyway.
Yes, the ma'am.
At least you're very agreeable and going to improve yourself. More Phoenix Pinions! A Phoenix with a pinion. I didn't realise it was a mechanic in FF9 until I saw it for the first time in the fight against the hardest boss in the game. That? You struck a miracle then. I hope on that occasion you bought a lottery ticket afterwards. Because it sounds like that was your lucky day. Well, I suppose arguably there's an equal argument that says you burnt every single piece of luck in your entire life on that one occurrence, and as such you will never experience luck again. Yay! Killed it. So you were Inflict Oblivion, weren't you? Yeah. So I think we should probably be able to do that. To Oblivion. I believe it's beyond the elements. Do we have Oblivion? We've only got a couple of chances though, so it's concerning. Let's subdue it and then try and imprison it next time with Lan and hope for the best. Are you hoping for me? Nice.
Victory!
Don't know why we suddenly went Irish, but we nonetheless went distinctly Irish there. Oh, it doesn't appear to have any other forms. A mirage that excels in earth magic. But don't forget that scythe leaves a nasty mark too. Try not to run into this scamp in a dark alley. Also, that's not a mask. It just looks like that. Chewing must be a challenge. Yes, I imagine so, because it's got mostly, if not all, upper teeth, it looks like. And without a lower set of teeth, I think they're right in their assessment that it's going to be terribly difficult to chew. Leave it with Seraphy. I'm not fussed about that thing. It's basically an Earth version of the Death Skull, and there are better Earth creatures, I suspect. Let's go grab that treasure chest if I can find the path. There we go. It's like perspective and depth issues I was having there. Where's the path? It's here somewhere. That's why sometimes it's easier just to look at the minimap. I have done that in games, and it does feel like a terrible waste of graphics when you're just exclusively going, right, I can navigate just on the minimap alone. But it's nonetheless true. It's actually easier a lot of the time. That's not really what we want to do, is it? No, I think we want to go for those treasure chests first. But you can sort of navigate the arrow through the maze of the map substantially easier than you can navigate two characters through the primary. Is that something we want to grab? No. Okay. I'm sorry. I besmirched you by treading on your fencing.
Make this good.
Alright, what have you got? Have you got anything that targets more than one creature? I really don't think you do at the moment, do you? Hits multiple times, but that's still only one creature. You can channel wind, just for shits and giggles. Although I haven't said that. Do you actually... No, it is weak to wind! A very good decision by me, sir. If I do say so myself, very good decision on my part. A very good decision indeed. Let's do a little curing action and then hopefully twat another death skull in the face. Well, it's a Maud skull, I believe, technically. Oh, nice insta-kill, Lan. Well done, kid. Now you just got to avoid getting cocky. Because otherwise you're going to be a pain in my backside if you start getting cocky. But yeah, it feels like that random piece of netting is sort of difficult, but still, I swear I control the arrow in the minimal, more than looking in the minimap. There we go, in the minimap, more than looking at the game with the actual graphics. Yeah, indeed, it is one of those unfortunate things where it just happens, and I do try to sort of, in some essences, I do actually physically try and stop myself doing it, because it's like, if I do that, I'm going to miss out on this. Now, I'm going to just put that back momentarily. Oh, no, I'm not. Nope, that's stuck there. Okay, that's fine. It must have been intended to be there.
Let's begin.
But yeah, I loathe autocorrect sometimes as well, especially on what I think is what happened to you just then, which is that you put it in and you don't immediately spot that it's corrected it because it's done it automatically. Hence autocorrect. I think we all know and understand what autocorrect is. But you put it in and you type it on and it corrects it for you and you don't notice and you've carried on the message, and then you put it in and you sort of suddenly glance over it and go, no, that's not the word, you motherfucker. And then you sort of try and correct yourself and it does it again and you don't notice it's done it again because you think, surely if I type the word in, it's not going to correct me a second time like a douchebag. Unfortunately, it very much does. And so I have had a frequent fight with my autocorrect going, you want this word? No, I don't! Leave it the way it was!
Victory!
If I want to make up words with all sorts of different letters, can't remember what. Oh, I think it was. What was it? I think I was reacting to. You may have seen it. I'm not sure. I think you're in Can't Sleep's Discord. So there was Albincraft sort of showed off his bust, as it were. He showed his bust. Ooh, and I wanted to sort of write. Ooh, I do like the gold, and I wanted it to be multiple O's and then ending in an H. And you would have thought the autocorrect would have been fine with that. Or the phone in general would have been fine with that. But no, it decided, I think it decided that it felt I wanted to say the word Pope or something along those lines. And it's like, that is one O, you fucking dick. How are you thinking it's supposed to be this when it's one O? Arseholes. Oh yeah, we channeled Wind last time, didn't we? Yes, it is always correcting made-up words. That is a humongous issue. Oh, let's see how you channel Thunder. I mean, it's going to be the same as usual, I suppose, but I don't know. It's still fun. I like this mode. I like the camera choice. The sort of just the way they display that animation and the move in general, I think, is a really beautiful manoeuvre. Mostly because that sort of depth of field where you get the sort of crispness of her and the blur of others. I've basically just defined depth of field, which probably was unnecessary, but still. Never mind. The key point I'm making is it's a wonderfully beautiful move that looks really spectacularly well animated, and I like it a lot. But yeah, it's often a problem, of course, when you're trying desperately. Oh, that's not a path. That's fine. Yeah, so you do have to go around. I wonder. Yeah, there's every possibility you might have been able to skip around to this bit first. Not that it necessarily would have done you much good, but I feel like you could have used that stepping stone and gone straight down to that area, which might have saved you a bit of time. I don't know. A where-will, I think, because that's a random sounding item that doesn't feel like it has any significance here. What are you going to do for me? Oh, it's an extra train. You just literally bought me an extra train. How very nice. And bang, straight into a battle. But yeah, if you are discussing a made-up, a sort of a fantasy game, it can be an absolute nightmare because you're writing all these words that it just doesn't like, but you know they're correct. Spell names and species names and all that jazz, and it's like, oh, stop it. Stop doing that. And I'm fucking terrible on a phone in the first place. That tiny, tiny keyboard in the phone is not conducive to good typing with my fat thumbs. So it's like, no, I didn't say that. No, I didn't type that letter at all, you dickhead.
Gimme!
I will give you a where-will. I don't know if that's a will that's worn out, or actually I do it. I think yeah, no. In terms of we're literally discussing spelling, and I was about to make egregious spelling error by suggesting, is it a will that's worn, as in a where-will, a will that's worn, or is it a will that turns into a human? Or a human that turns into a will, and that is a completely different spelling of the word. So, as I say, but it might have been amusing if you didn't see the spelling. A bit desperate for it to be amusing, I think. I don't think it is, though, is it? No, it's not. I don't. There is a treasure chest up above. Interesting. Hey! They do like to come out of nowhere. Oh, we've got full bat stacks. No, bat stacks, bad stacks, bad stacks. Are you still booked to Wind? No, you've double downed on your strengths and weaknesses though. Water and holy, and unfortunately, yeah, we've not got holy or water. But we do have a chocobo kick, so kick you in the face. That's a double bat. He's just managed to kick in the face. Ooh, Abyss. That's quite a nice manoeuvre. Not for the sake of my health bar, but it's a sexy looking manoeuvre, I suppose. Oh, did they die? Yes, they did. Okay. Because we never actually managed to capture a vampire, did we? And what did we need for a vampire? Oh, dark. That's why we never captured a vampire. We don't have dark attacks. We do not have any dark attacks. Yes, fire her. It's going to have a fucking field day. But yeah, Dora's an interesting choice. It does sometimes, because the suggestion is there's an intelligence behind that autocorrect. And therefore it's based on things you've written in the past. And so sometimes when it sort of offers certain... As I say, like when I wanted to write the word ooh, which was just several O's and an H, I can't say for certain, but I think it was something along the lines of Pope. And it's like, how the fuck? Actually, I've just realised, I think, because O and P are next to each other, aren't they? So it was thinking I'd intended to hit P-O-P, not O-O-O. So actually, it's actually making a lot more sense than it did the first time round, because the first time round it was just Pope. Why would I be shouting Pope at a man? Absolute bullshit, phone. Absolute bullshit. But turns out, upon further inspection, it actually makes a little bit more sense than I gave it credit for the previous occasion. It was actually doing something semi-intelligent. Although there is a part of me thinking, if I want semi-intelligent, I don't know. If I want more than semi-intelligent. I want either intelligent or you to fuck off. That's the one. Oh, ooh.
Here we go.
See, that'd probably be pope. The Pope is pooing in the woods. No Pope for me, fair enough. Clearly I write to the Pope too much, perhaps. I've written Pope on my phone too many times that the phone has now automatically decided that Pope is the correct thing on all occasions. Did it try an autocorrect to anything else? Because, as I say, I'm willing to accept the notion that it was not Pope, it was something else it was trying to autocorrect to, but it definitely did. It definitely did sort of sweep it away from me and take away my choice, and it just went, no, you clearly wanted this word. As I say, I feel like it was something odd like Pope, but I'm willing to be proven wrong if there is an alternate option that it might show up. I suppose I could try it on my phone, see if it does it again, but on some occasions it does learn from its past behaviour. So let us see. Now we'll just try and put something in and see what it does. No, interestingly enough, on this occasion. Yeah, no, it's just doing it. Even just writing Popoo. I've just written the word Popoo, and it seems to be fine with it. How bizarre. Maybe that was just a strange vision that wasn't real. But there you go. Slightly concerning now. Slightly concerning that I am seeing things that are not there.
We did it! Victory!
That's probably indicative of a major underlying condition that's probably explaining a lot about the lack of function in your brain.
That really like
Yes.
high altitudes.
All of these bats like high altitudes.
The prime, dummy. She said bat, not batty.
Bit harsh, bit rude, bit unnecessary. If there's a treasure chest up here, I think that's the one we spotted from down below. I cannot see with absolute certainty, but I am willing to allow it as a guesswork. It's a tiny bit complicated, this map. Only because you are going up, and the map doesn't necessarily 100% reflect that. Although the linking paths obviously do sort of reflect that. I don't know. As I say, it's not necessarily complicated. It's just slightly sort of sometimes misleading as to precisely where you are in relation to where you think you are.
Let's do this.
Here we go!
In no way, shape or form can you get lost on this map. I would just like to clarify that one. It is sufficiently simple for that purpose. But sometimes you can lose your bearings. Cocky cocks. Big cocks. That is a man who hangs around with the man who we discussed earlier, the man with the big old balls. They both have the same problem, except the one with the massive long dong. He sort of just bounces like a pogo stick. He has a special tip. He applies that tip to the end of his penis, then he goes bouncing down the street. Bouncy, 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 bow. The reason he has a specialized tip that attaches to the end of his dick is so that he can avoid it really hurting when he bounces upon the tip. It is very comfortable in the middle. It's very comfortable in the internal pouch, I suppose. But very solid and springy on the external of the pouch. And my girl's dead. And I'm significantly irritated by that fact. Diddly diddly dee. Diddly diddly dee. It would be very helpful to have a save point right now, because then I could avoid having to use any items to cure. But I think, yeah, because I think she auto-revives at the end of the battle. It's one of those. There's two sort of schools of thought when it comes to after battles. One school of thought, it tends to be, I think, older and newer as well, to a certain extent. But one school of thought is, of course, everything that happened in the battle stays on you after the battle. So if you've got a status ailment, you continue to have the status ailment. If you have the, you know, if you're asleep, you remain asleep, etc., etc. But there's also the school of thought, which is complete refresh after battle. And it goes with sort of being dead as well as a status ailment. Some of them revive you automatically post-game, and some of them do not. This one, fortuitously, is one that gives you 1 HP back, which is nice, because it means you don't have to waste some of your higher-end items, i.e., did you had... Nope, okay. Fire? We'll use fire. Might be just that little bit easier to hit them, because the problem, I think, is they're showing themselves to have a distinct sort of... a distinctly high evasion rate. Because, A, they've got that evade and counter, so if they've not got an... Oh, I suppose point proven. I made the mistake of course, thinking that was a magical attack when it's actually a physical attack, of course. It is her slicing them to death with a blade. Oh, well, carry on, fire. Fire in the hole. And this time, let's try and use Thunderbolt. General Thunderbolt Ras. I believe is a Marvel character for those unaware. He's the fellow who tends to go after the Hulk. Thunderbolt Ross, I think. I think his first name is Thaddeus. I might be wrong on that one. That one might be a step too far. Oh, goddamn, fucking evade and counter is annoying the living shite out of me. There we go. Take this. Yeah, miss. I know. They put so much effort into the take this, and then it's like, nope. Nope, you do not get to take it. Come on, buddy. Oh, God. They are so evasive. Do we have an official stat on their evasion? No. Fine. Fuck you. Absorb Madge. Don't you absorb Madge? What did Madge ever do to you? Let's thunder the bastard. Thunder! There we go. Got him. Got him in the end. Got him in the end with the lightning bolt. A thunderbolt. Which is obviously technically wrong, because they always use lightning and name it thunder, despite the fact that thunder is not lightning, and lightning is not thunder. But I suppose it's too internalized that thunder is a lightning spell in Final Fantasy. Is there anything else we can do there? No, so I think it is literally just zap that and go down, question mark? Difficult, no. Or possibly, no, it's down. A logical progression on the timeline. It's always funny when the big explosion spells or summons end with a miss. Well, I don't think you were present, but we did have an experience with that with Evolution Worlds is the game. Very good RPG. I don't know if you've ever played it, but I absolutely adore that one. A little bit slow in places, a little bit sort of... Well, it's dungeon crawly, so of course it's got slightly slower elements to it. But the Crucial is a very entertaining game, I found. But there is a character in that called Pepperbox, and she has like this massive sort of, oh, it's charging up, immense and unfathomable explosion. And then I was informed the attack missed, and it's like, oh, the explosion practically encompassed the entire room. How did you miss that? It's such a frustrating case of affairs. Do. Dang it all, will you please not do that? I don't want you to hit me. Because if you hit me, then I've got to waste my resources healing. And that's very, very annoying. Oh yes, indeed it is. Annoying beyond belief. Oh, now is this a cheeky little underpath? Yes, it is. Is it going to be a... Oh no, okay. I don't think it's as cheeky little underpath as this one, which is a cheeky little extra path. Or is it a cheeky extra... No, it is a cheeky extra path. It's interesting. Of the two, it feels distinctly more that this is the easy to spot path, and this is the difficult to spot path. Both of them, in fairness, are on the map, so it's not that difficult either way around, but it's not 100% the point I'm making. It's just... It was easier spotting the secret treasure path than it was spotting the other one. Now, okay, so I think that's going to be the one there. Oh no, that's the one over there. Okay, that's well worth. That's fine. That's... No... Well, this is where this gets complicated, kid. It's gonna be difficult to navigate this area, because this area wants you to raise the trains, lower the trains, lower the trains, and raise the trains, raise the trains, and lower the trains, and lower the trains, and raise the trains. Have you lowered the trains and raised the trains, and raised the trains, and lowered the trains in the morning? If you can raise the trains, then you can lower the trains, and if you lower the trains, then you can raise the trains, and if you lower the trains, then you can raise the trains, all on a Sunday morning. But yeah, this section gets a little more puzzling. It gets to be a little bit more of a boozler. That's a magazine-y sort of book. We used to regularly get the Poozler magazine. It's not actually called the Poozler magazine. It's Puzzler magazine. I'm just putting stupid emphasis on the wrong things. Oh, it's another werewolf. It's another man who's transferred himself into a wheel. And now, of course, the majestic nature of this game, if I want that treasure chest at the beginning, I have to go all the way back to the front. Oh, Stuff's happening. Oh. Is it supposed to cut off quite so quickly? Can't remember now. No, I don't think it was. I think it was supposed to have a sort of... a little bit more there. But anyway, welcome, Mr. Garasvaldi. How goes a World of Final Fantasy for you? Not bad. We've been backing and forthing a little bit too much. But nonetheless, we're chatting Final Fantasy and enjoying our doings. So let's see. Hello. This is Mr. Garasvaldi. And if you have a clip, it should play the clip. So, oh, there we go. Ooh, I feel like I recognise that game. I just can't think of the name. Is that one of the Final Fantasy Tactics ones? Disgaea 2! Of course it is. Of course it is. Should have recognised the art style more than anything else for Disgaea. There we go. That is Mr. Garasvaldi. Oh, hello. Superb. as is possibly obvious by the fact that I'm playing World of Final Fantasy and the fact that all of my shout-outy alert things are Skies of Arcadia and RPG stuff, it's very much a rather... well, it's SaturJay RPG. I mean, everything today is RPGs. I do play a fair amount of them. But welcome in, and welcome anybody else who is present. I suppose I should probably do the old slightly professional hello, hello. That's my professional voice. Hello, I'm Jay Dragonfang, and I play games, and I talk about the games. Sometimes, only sometimes, mind you, I actually make some funny comments, but most of the time it's silly noises and strange voices. Oh, hello, as is presented there. But yeah, majority of your stuff is RPG as well. Fantastic. I will have to have a look. I can't at the moment because I don't necessarily want to open a browser, but I will try and check out your stuff post stream and see what you've got. What would you say your favourite RPG is? Now, you know, it's a fairly open question because there are many. Mine, I think, I would undoubtedly specify as it's. How the fuck do I get up there? That's not a game, by the way. How the fuck do I get up there is not the title of a game. That's a job for a later moment, I think. Chrono Trigger, hands down. I have never played it. I'm very frustrated by that fact. I've gotten lost and confused. It's fine. I keep meaning to. I own it. I just haven't gotten around to playing it, and I do want to. It's one of those. It was one of those odd little ones that passed me by at the time, and
Let's make this good.
it's like I want to go back, but maybe I'll play this one first. I want to play this one first. So one day, my prince will come, stick his fingers on your first game that came to mind for me, I'm assuming that was meant to be for me, unless you've just suddenly started playing golf. The first game that came to mind for... Watch yourself, yep. There you go, it landed just to your left there. It's fine, sorry about that. Was Chrono Trigger too. Me, as is evident from the old the alerts, that's what they're called. As is evident from the alerts, mine is Skies of Arcadia, without a doubt. I absolutely adore Skies of Arcadia. It was my game in my youth, and the majestic world of flying ships and crazy sky pirates and fantastic stuff. I really need to start learning to use magic against these guys, because otherwise they're a pain in the butthole. Worth the time to play it if you can get away with a sub 30-hour run if you keep pushing through and level smartly. Right, well, it looks like I'm in for a 40-hour run. I don't know. But I don't know if anything I do would be considered level smartly. I just plough through and hope for the best is usually my method. Let's use the... Yeah, let's use the Pure Kibble bars up high. But yes, we've... what have we done in the past on SaturJay RPG? I don't... In fairness, actually, we've only done 2 games on SaturJay RPG, because I split it off from the main category. So, in terms of on the channel, we did Grandia 2. Yes. Shadow Hearts. Both of them. Absolutely adore both of those. More so Shadow Hearts, I think. Shadow Hearts just slightly pips Grandia 2 in terms of quality, owing mostly to the insane sense of humour that Shadow Hearts possesses. And I think... I don't know. Grandia 2 definitely has a ragtag group, but I think Shadow Hearts would definitely be classified as having outdone Grandia 2 in terms of its insanity of characters. Shadow Hearts had the edge with story and humour, yeah, I'd say so. It does have a very good storyline to it as well, in fairness. Now, confusion, Aras. Is there a list of games in line for SaturJay RPG? Sort of. Not fully, but sort of. I was... Whoopsie doodles. I meant to say yes. I always sort of intended to start with Final Fantasy 13, which is what we did prior to World of Final Fantasy. Because I fancied... Basically because I fancied playing it again. And, you know, building an overlay for Final Fantasy seemed like a sensible choice. Because there are many Final Fantasies that I can enjoy and play. That's a big old stack there. What are you at the bottom there, sir? Chrome Giant. We don't know anything about you, so let's Libra you and find out more. But then the second game I'd planned was not a Final Fantasy game, so it wasn't intended to be. Well, okay, so we did some stalling with Pokemon for a little bit. Then when I decided I was going to start up a full playthrough again, I was going to do Final Fantasy 13-2. Then Final Fantasy 13-2 didn't work, and so I had to very quickly sort of go something else. And fortuitously, I'd been in two minds between Final Fantasy 13-2 and World of Final Fantasy in the first place. So I happened to install them both at the same time. And yeah, so fortuitously I had World of Final Fantasy on backup, so we ended up doing World of Final Fantasy. Subsequently, I did get Final Fantasy 13 to work, which is quite good. So that is still on the cards. So Final Fantasy 13 2 and Final Fantasy 13 3 are definitely on the cards. But there's also a couple of others that I was working on an overlay for and just sort of gave up because it was complicated and awkward. Overly convoluted I was going for. I was trying to add sort of 3D graphics and stuff, which were entirely unnecessary. But did you hear about the fish that beat Pokemon? Now that sounds like it could be the beginning of either a really good joke or a really bad joke. But if it's an actual news article, no, I did not hear about the fish that beat Pokemon. But it doesn't... Oddly enough, it doesn't 100% surprise me, because it feels like one of those weird little engineering challenges that someone decided that they could rig up a system within their... they could rig up a system within the sort of aquarium thing, or the bowl, or whatever the fish was in order to allow it to at least play it. But I suppose there's an element, I don't know, it depends on how intelligently it beat Pokemon. Because I know... Whoops, that's not the button I wanted. Don't die. Thank you, that's the button we wanted. Evade the... Oh, God. Oh, I don't like that. Evade the Mirage's attack. Oh. Oh, no. That's just awkward. It was a camera in front of a fish tank. The location of the fish determined the button presses. So yeah, it's basically what they've done there is Twitch plays Pokemon with a fish. Fish plays Pokemon, I suppose. I don't know how much I can be bothered to necessarily sort of wait it around in this fight for it to eventually miss me. Also, poison, which I hadn't factored in, but I'm not that fussed by poison. No, eventually it'll wear off. It's fine. I've got plenty of health, and eventually the poison will wear off, I think. In fairness, I thought eventually the poison was going to wear off in Don't Starve Shipwrecked. The poison didn't wear off, so is this going to be a repeat of Wednesday? No, it's not good. The poison wore off. Do I have a way of upping my evasion? I really don't think I do, is the unfortunate truth. I suppose we could pop a couple of regens on, which will at least bolster my health bars while I'm defending. And then you... Do you have anything of interest? Oh, now. Oh, God, it's such a... Oh, it's such a huge expenditure just to try and get my evasion up. But fuck it, let's have a look at the boy. Although he might kill the man. That would be awkward. But can we have words about you killing this Chrome Giant? Because if you kill the Chrome Giant, this was going to be a waste of time.
Let's get this started.
Could blind him. I could try and blind him. That's a good suggestion. Whereas I was too focused on the word evade to factor in alternate options. Do do do. But we're having fun watching Bart's anyway, so. Do 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 do.
Just don't get in the way, all right?
Oh, Gilgamesh always gets in the way, but in the most fun, spectacular fashion. Do 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 do. I do like the fact that it does sort of. Oh, that's definitely killing it. That was a lot of damage.
Good job.
You ain't fixing that with flex tape. The champion scenes are majestic. I absolutely love every single one of them. The only one I think we've not seen at the moment is the middle one that I've got stacked in there, which is Shelp. I can never quite remember that name because I'm just not used to that character. Oh, we have actually hit level 40, or at least Rain's hit level 40. So, what do we fancy? No, that's the one we don't really fancy. Both of those are sort of ones I'm not that fussed about. So, Agility Aurora. Yeah, you can have Aurora. And then, do you have one available? Yes, you do. So, you can have the Agility Plus, methinks. That will do as a sort of instinctive decision there. Battle items, Megalixir, lovely jubbly. Miscellaneous items, lovely jubbly. Just picked up Lure on mine shortly before end of my day. Ah! Which one's Lure? Is that a character that I don't recognise? Or have you been attacked by an autocorrect and not not meant to be Lure? Oh, sorry, right, we're talking about... Fucking idiot. We're talking about the bloody... this is how much attention I pay to everything around me. You are talking about that Lure Miracle, aren't you? Yes. Yes, you are. It's not a terrible decision if you're particularly needing training, but at the moment I don't really need training. And I don't really need to avoid the battles, so both Lure and Stealth are sort of meh. Don't really mind them. So does that mean you are slightly further behind than my current location? Whereabouts are you? Because I'm assuming then... I'm assuming the shout-out did actually specify, but I didn't read it entirely. But I'm assuming from your sentiment there... Oh, you just unlocked... Have I got the right character? No, I don't have the right character. It's fine. You use Fire. Use Fire on the Vampire Stack there. Well, were you just playing World of Final Fantasy? How do you find it? Are you a fan? Not long after having Snow tag along. Ah, yes, we dealt with Snow the other week. And I rather enjoyed dealing with Snow, because Snow is one of my favourite characters. I like the way he's the sort of moronic hero, and he has a very long coat. And I fear that, yes, the only thing that is required for me to like the character is a very long coat. It does go with most of the characters. Shadowheart's best character in the game, of course, is the lead character. Because he's got a very long coat. Didn't mean to use a physical attack there. Dang it all. Did you manage to catch the Marlborough Menace during that part? Nice. I don't think I did. I think I just killed it, maybe. Or no, I think it killed me. I think it killed me. It killed me and I just went, nah, you're alright. which is what most of this game has been at the moment. It's been a sort of, ah, yes, we could do... Nah, you're alright. You're alright, sir. I'm fine not catching you. Couldn't get the Flam Princess, though. I don't think I got the Flam Princess either. Long coat and punches things equals good, yeah. In fairness, lead character of Shadowhearts, of course, fits both of those bills. Oh, I really need to remember I need to use magical attacks. It's more efficient. Doesn't make, like, that much difference. You can win with physical attacks. But logically and efficiently, you want to be using your magical attack. Well, having said that, I'm low on AP now. I need a P. Please, God, will you give me a P? Because I'm desperate for a P. Is this a dead end? Well, it is and it isn't. It is at least got a thing in it. Right, where in the bottomless hellhole of dicks do we need to go? Ideally away from the bottomless hellhole of dicks, because I don't think anybody really wants to be in the bottomless hellhole of dicks. A little oblivious and punching Zell. I do like Zell. Fun piece of trivia, possibly revealing too much information, but fun piece of trivia. He and I share the same birthday. Character-wise, not game-wise. His in-game birthday is the same as mine, which is a fun little fact. I just hit them, Lan. Gonna be the easiest method. But I also like Dante from Devil May Cry, of course. Beautiful long coat. The Nero, of course, beautiful long coat. How many others? How many others you are so shallow that you love them just because they've got a beautiful long coat? There's so many, I'm sure. Even Lan is improved simply by the fact that he's got a semi-decent lengthy coat. He ruins it a touch by being an absolute dickweed, but he does then suddenly bring it back, screamingly back, with a rather delightful coat. He'd probably be better off having it loose, though, I think. Just opening it up slightly and letting that flow a little bit more. But it is still technically long, and it is still technically nice. And I do like his big gold buttons. His big gold buttons on his big gold coat. Well, his big blue coat, technically. Constantine, yes. Constantine, absolutely. Jack Harkness, absolutely as well. Both of those, the old beautiful trench coats. Right, where are we going? I'm confused. Oh, we're probably, yeah, we're going, well, yeah, we might as well go over here and deal with this switch. See what it wants from me. Thunder resistance 100 or greater. That could be awkward, but we'll see. Zapped is going to do it by himself. Excellent. Now we just need to find the heaviest people. So 7, 5, 5, 2. Oh no, that's not right. So Can't Sleep, the Nut Eater. He's very fat. 12, 14, 14. I can never quite remember if that's a cumulative total. I think it is, isn't it? So arguably, I believe, did we ever fit? No, 14 is our highest. That's fine. Robobottom can be put in then. Activate the switch. I have not met the require. Oh, because I've removed. Oh, bollocks. Huh. Oh, yeah, because Robobottom's bringing some thunder weakness, isn't he? So it does make a difference that I need to use Jay. Well, either it doesn't matter which one I use at that point, but just get rid of Robobottom. That was the crucial issue. Told a friend if he ever got rid of it, I want his RAF long coat. Oh, yes. Yes, that is... Oh, that is a magnificent beast, that one. Is this the way I want to go? I mean, I don't know, but it is a way, and it feels like it would be the bonus way, since I actually had to put some effort into getting this way. So we're going to give it a go. Oh, that's a lot of bonus cubes. And what are you? You are level 35. I mean, technically, level 35 is actually not that high. You are level 43. You can get in the bin. And you are level 37, so you're not quite so bad. Good luck, I see. That makes me inclined to leave immediately. Because I don't necessarily want to have to repeat the entire dungeon again. But I suggested the 35 might be tolerable. So maybe we'll try this Merc Rift and see what happens. I get the impression I'm probably going to have to repeat the entirety of the dungeon again, but still. Oh, it's the sort of little kitties. You, unfortunately, I've come in here with very limited AP. Which is not... I suppose I need a... Yes. A Manticore! Where are you now? Are you gone forever? Oh, no, there you are. What sort of trickery do you have up your sleeves? Inflict poison. Okay, that's not so bad. I do feel like I need to remove sort of a fair amount of the... Did we... Good, he's indifferent. Water would be ideal, but I don't have any water, so we'll just have a crack at some of these. God damn it. It's the sheer bloody numbers. You just managed to really absolutely sort of bugger you senseless with numbers. Which is always a problem. Okay, so we can probably afford another... He doesn't have any kind of multi-hit, so I think we'll go with the Curer. He could do with being unwobbled, but he'll probably just have to fall over in the not-too-distant future. But for now, let's do another Thunderbolt, try and whittle some more of their health bars down. And then unfortunately we are going to get Venom Needled to hell and back once again. And yep, I had a feeling he was going to get fallen. He's fallen and he can't get up. And we cannot do Thunderbolts anymore. How are their health bars? Let's try just a general attack. It's not the worst, but it's not great either. Can we get them restacked before they die? Yes, we can. Excellent. Unfortunately, we need to now deal with you falling apart. I suppose, arguably, how many championship doodahs have we got? Not too bad. I feel like I might end up killing them all, though, which is always slightly problematic. I've never seen a manticore that would look at home in an elderly lady's handbag. These ones very much would, yes. They are quite the sort of glass cat type thing. I feel like I don't necessarily need to go all that. Do I have a Mega Mirage? No, I don't. I didn't think I did. So I suppose the option is there in case you do, but I'm working my way towards getting a Mega Mirage, but I don't exactly remember them being spectacularly like, oh yes, we must have Mega. Oh, did you have to fall down again, you bellend? Oh god, they're all falling over, aren't they? Do you know what? You know when I said I don't think I need that champion? Yeah, I think I might need that champion. Especially, is it going to be worthwhile doing the full heal? Negative status ailments, yeah, get rid of the poison. Do a massive heal, I believe? Massive heal? Come on, scroll back around so I can see the massive heal part. Yeah, restore HP. But I'm going to take a fuck ton of damage, so I think it might be better just to try and twat them in the face with Snow and his Sovereign Fist. Come on, Snow, bring forth the pain of ice and... well, just ice. Ice and bicycles. Icicles.
Let's show them what we can do.
Wheels of ice for you. I'm very much hoping that this will kill at least, I mean, ideally 4 of them. Leave 1 alive. That would be the ideal thing. If it can kill at least 1, I suppose, wouldn't go amiss, but more than 1 would be pleasant. But I think it might kill all 5. Yeah, it did. That's fine. Eh. I'll be right back. That is fair enough. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Inconvenient that I killed those guys, but technically they're in the thing. Oh, sweet revenge. Sweet revenge. I've got some sweet revenge for you. I'm not going to bother with any of those. A lot of those Mirage cubes, for me, it's very much a case of, I'll come back. Now, deep down, deeper and down, deep down, I know, in my heart of hearts, I'm aware that I'm probably not coming back. But on the surface level, I very much think I'll probably come back.
I think I saw somebody inside of that train.
Well, is it the Vampire Lord or someone of interest?
But I saw it too.
But you're really not imagining it?
Oh, is this actually going to be Doom Train? That'd be fun.
Oh man.
Doom Train's the best summon ever.
One little whiff of the
So ridiculous.
makes you freak out.
There's quite a lot of whiffs actually at this point.
I think we have bigger the things to worry about now. Huh?
I mean, it definitely sounds like a train's coming. Yeah, there you go.
Is that?
It is a ghost train.
Not again. Me and trains. We are so not getting
Don't think it's officially Doom Train.
Oh, speaking of,
What was that?
do you know the difference between a train and a tram?
Yeah, rain?
Spelling,
This
mostly.
is really not the time.
Also, not fully, I think.
There's no mistaking that for anything but a
I mean,
ghost train.
I could spot the difference between a train and a tram. I just don't know if I could tell you the dictionary difference between a train and a
Is one really
tram.
better than the other?
Yes, mirages and ghosts are nothing alike.
Oh, good to know.
Oh, what are you? Hey, did you kidnap my sister?
We have to go after her.
Right.
Do I have to fight by myself now? Because that's going to be awkward. Oh god, yeah, it is. Oh dear. Rain and her stacks have left the
Just
party.
hang
Well,
on,
that's not
sis.
good. Also, yeah, I suppose... yeah, I lost... oh god, I lost that. Oh god. Oh god, no. Oh, this is going to be horrendous. This is gonna be the most awkward thing in the world. But I suppose we can probably get past it. Tell you what, I've actually got a load of potions. Let's use them instead. It will require more potions, but that's fine. We're going to have to rely on Blue Bouche. He's not here to bolster his character. Although, in fairness, the last time I had a character called Blue Bouche, it died horribly. But then again, we were playing the Darkest Dungeon, so really, the default setting for the Darkest Dungeon is to die horribly. But still, we might be okay because it looks like there's not actually any battles here, it would seem. So we're going to get her back fairly swiftly, which is good because it's not too bad if you lose a character and you've got like 3 characters in a fight. In this game, you feel the loss of characters beyond belief. But what are you, sir? You look like a Pokemon. More than a vampire from Final Fantasy, truth be told. I think it's the bright colours. The bright blue. And, you know, bright blue and gold and red. It looks like the dogs from Sword and Shield. I've got myself some Sword and Shield. Whatever I said last time that was funnier. Let's scan the bad boy and see what he's weak to. Probably holy, because most of them are. Considering I knew that, I should really have built some stacks to take advantage of holy and water. And a sensible human being would have done that. I, on the other hand, no. I refuse to do the sensible thing. I refuse to do decent things. Now, are you going to be another pain in the arse that's going to require a certain amount of magical attacks instead of physical attacks? I suspect the answer is probably yes, but I'm going to put bravery on anyway. He is punching me. I don't like that. Okay, I did hit him. Put bravery on the boy as well. And then we should be able to get sort of just continually punching things whilst building some AP to do something a little bit more spectacular. Do you have... You have regen? Dickhead. I don't like regen in this house here, because I don't think I've got Dispel, which is problematic. Oh, this is a fancy manoeuvre. You don't appreciate fancy manoeuvres in this house. Whoa! Okay then. I'm not... I feel like that was an insta-kill rather than a damage to kill. Because I'm fairly certain her health bar was full. Well, Mr. Blue Bouche, you have come into your own now that you know the spell Raise. So we will raise them up. Although now they are super... fuck me indeed. They are super weak, which means they're probably going to die again. Dark Mysteries. Is this the same ability again? Yes. The one advantage, though, I suppose, of having them on a lower... or having them unstacked, is that going to be the secret of this fight? To have them unstacked now. Problem we got is you can't use items? Or you can use items? Okay, well, we'll Phoenix down and then hopefully we can restack with all of them on. But I am just wondering if that's going to be the secret. The secret source on the game is going to be to not be stacked. What sort of health bar do you have? Because I feel like it's quite high. It is. It's quite high. It's obscenely high, in fact, I would put forth. Right, let's stack you back up. Because you should have time to adjust. Oh, that's a huge item to use. I don't know if I can... I can't... Just in my brain and my heart, I can't use the X potion right now. Which unfortunately means I am going to have to use 2 high potions to get her back up to a fairly high standard of health. But now, right, okay, so you've lost your bravery, but outside of that, it's not too bad. Let's try it. I don't think he's going to take poison, and in fact, we can actually check what his resistances are. He's definitely not taking a status ailment. Inconvenient, to say the least, but... And he's also got regen. And call for help! Like that's fair. Well, I will try to Thunderbolt you to hell and back, sir. Yeah, it's not convenient that she is weak to whatever... I'm assuming dark. I'm assuming it's the dark element that she's weak to. It's a problem, to say the least. Let's get that Cura going. I'm suffering from a severe lack of AP. Yeah, I don't really want to use a Turbo Ether. Let's use yours, because then I can start Thunderbolting again. Which, you might be able to get rid of the bats fairly swiftly with a Thunderbolt. Of course, if you do... Okay, no, you're using Leech. Oh, you are an awkward bastard, aren't you? You have got Are you back up at full health? No, good. But I'm going to have to keep a check on making sure that he does not get out of control with the heals. I cannot get distracted too many turns healing myself if I am to be expected to win this fight. And I am expecting to win this fight, of course. What were your thoughts on fire, sir? You're indifferent. That's fine. So I think maybe try fire. How much damage is that doing for me? 790, not bad. What nasty horribleness you got for me? Oh, just a standard attack. Colour me disappointed, chap. Yes, I thought you were better than that. Really, I need to keep Lan's AP up, though, so he's going to be stuck on basic attacks. I think you're going to bias doing that bravery to yourself when I need it on Lan, because he's doing the attacking. So we'll save Lan getting... We'll get bravery on Lan to get higher attack strength out of him. That doesn't matter. Doing okay. I mean, not too badly. We had a nasty surprise when it insta-killed one of the stacks, but we've come back strong from that. This thing is just proving a bit of a pain because it's healing itself constantly. But it's a vampire, I suppose, so you do expect a certain amount of blood sucking. I.e. that. Okay, weak to Leech. Incredible. I do seem to be weak to everything it has to throw at me, which is equally problematic. I should have reassessed my stacks, but I didn't. It's fine. We shall live with the situation we find ourselves in and make do with what we can do. It's not the world's most difficult game, so not having a plan and just making it up as you go along is usually enough to bypass it. I don't have enough for Cura. Risky. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk my girl's health bar for the sake of no healings at the moment. Thunder! Thunder saved me. It didn't save me, it's fine. But there you go. Slightly calculated risk because I thought we'd have the edge on speed. But nonetheless, it was still a risk. Because he might have suddenly perked up and decided, I'm going to go first. Are you going to do the big nasty again? Nope, just a basic attack. It's nothing, mate. It's nothing. Nobody cares for your basic attack. Ooh, lovely crit, my friend. Crit for the win. I should have checked if I could capture it, but I'm fairly certain bosses you can't in general. And he'll just have his... I get a thing. Vampire Prime Memento. So that's how you get a Vampire Prime if you so choose. Yes! I believe you need the baby vampires, I would assume at the very least. He seems okay though, doesn't he?
I think he might be the immortal.
Nothing's immortal if you punch it into paste enough. Oh dear. Rain, you okay? Rain. Don't be a vampire, it would be awkward. Ah, it's awkward. But I must admit, it does suit you. The red eyes are quite delightful. It does do wonders for you. Oh, use this! A wooden stake! Oh my god, that's enormous. Oh, magnificent. I mean, it's even enormous for the giants, so... The fact that it was being carried by Cloud there. He looked fucking surprised there, didn't he? Beautiful bit of animation there, where it was like, what? Oh, fuck. such an oh fuck moment, I feel, that vampire had in his face.
Rain? And then I said to the chocobo, you feather cut that out.
That's true. She does have a habit of lecturing.
Looks like she's gonna pull through now. Her and the town.
Excellent. Can we go back to the town and find some people?
Come prepared.
Thanks, Sid. He found out that to defeat the Prime, we'd need a wooden stake from a tree that's been alive longer than him. That took some hunting. I just looked for the oldest tree I could find. Made it just in time.
Good morning, Lon.
Oh, hey. Morning.
Cloud's here?
With a bit of luck, we now unlock his medal. Because I definitely want his medal.
What? I was I was attacked by the Prime.
And then you had delightful red eyes. You might want to consider contact lenses at some
Dude,
point.
yes. Seeing you with fangs was creepy.
Huh?
Oh, hello. What disappeared? Oh, we got a key.
3 out of the 4 keys in the bag.
Nice.
The Prime must have been holding on to it. Except this key.
I will accept that key if you
What
hand
about
it to
it?
me. Because it sounds
I
like
don't
the
know.
same word.
What is it you think these keys are gonna unlock?
Huh? Well, they're keys, so a door, I guess?
Nah,
Surprisingly logical
I'm
assumption from
overthinking it.
Lan there.
never mind.
Oh, Cloud! I never thanked you.
In fairness, I think
Thanks
Cloud has
again.
been in the world of Kingdom Hearts at
Don't
this
do
point
anything
in
you're
his
gonna regret
lifespan,
later on.
which means Keys could do a whole host of things. So, I think this was after Kingdom Hearts. Certainly after Kingdom Hearts 1. Although, did Cloud... Oh yeah, Cloud was in Kingdom Hearts 1. Maybe Cloud is thinking about Hearts, that's the one. Do. Oh. Was ist das? Whoa! Whoa! That is an Odin, I would assume. This is an Odin. This is an Odin. This is Odin attack! But that's the slightly more traditional Odin from, well, traditional sources, I suppose. The one. Oh, she does have a champion. Yes, you do have a Celeste one. Marvelous. Genuinely hadn't thought I didn't think she had one. I didn't remember it. I do remember Cloud having one, of course, because Cloud is a very much a main character. But I'd feared that they'd snubbed Celeste and sort of just gone, you can be in it, but you're not being a summon. No. Which, in fairness, I think they've done with Vivi. You can be in the game, Vivi, but you're not being a summon medal. No. Which is disappointing, to say the least. Unless there is one secreted about somewhere that I will stumble across. But so far, no luck on the Vivi front. And Vivi is the best. Oh, there we go. Cave Shadows. Marvelous. Lovely jubbly. Vampire Prime Memento. As I say, I suspect that's probably coming off of the general vampire things. We'll do with the Mirage boards. Let's get some points in here. So I think I completed your Mirage board, did I not? Yes, I did. You got anything there? Obtain a... I don't know what. So we're technically working on this Mirage board, despite the fact that I no longer have Zaf. So Zapped. That's the mystery one. That's a mystery one. Regen's not a terrible choice. Thunder Converter, that could be quite good. I think I might be able to just straight up afford all of these. So. No, that's distinctly a lie. And no. Oh, interesting. It's a funny place to put Zaps on. Anyway, there we go. Love the Vivi so much from Final Fantasy IX. Absolutely. Vivi is the best. I have regaled this tale before, but I will just sort of go over it once more. I played Final Fantasy IX a little while back, not too long ago, and I got to sort of what I think was the final dungeon, and I was clearly vastly underprepared because every other character was absolutely wrecked in every single fight, but Vivi was a fucking trooper, and he just kept winning, and it's like, Vivi, it was almost a case of, Viv, could you stop winning? I'd like to start from an earlier point, so please stop. Please stop winning this little fights. But he was a powerhouse beyond comparison, because basically he'd ended up, no deliberate thing from me, I fear, but he had ended up on this sort of thing where he was, need to reach level 40, that's fine. I'd ended up with him, and he had the ability to absorb spells and the ability to reflect spells back at the enemy. So he just ended up being, and as I say, through no real planning on my part, I was just sort of pottering through the game, and Vivi suddenly out of nowhere became this magnificent sort of every battle he was just going, I absorb your spells, now I throw them back at you, and now I throw my own super powerful spells back at you. And he was just, wow, the man was incredible. But I also, interesting little fun fact for people, I also just recently found a free on, I think it's My Mini Factory. There was a free Vivi model on that. And I thought, you know what, I'll have a go. I'll have a go and see what it ends up being like to print it. And I did, and it's come out quite nicely. It was sort of in 3 parts, and I've sort of printed it up as a sort of miniature scale, and it's really looking quite tasty. Oh yes, of course, Tama, until we get sort of like the big boy Tama. I don't. Oh, can we actually? No. I wondered if I could cheekily add a few points in there early, but no, you can't do that. You can't stick points in early. How dare you suggest such a thing? It's even remotely possible. So we're pretty much tapped out there, that's fine. Valor, what do you have? I was playing FF9 for a few weeks ago. If you don't like Vivi, then I don't like you. Indeed, Vivi is the best. Vivi's the best. Vivi's the master of all disaster. So we've run out of sort of points for that, although we can start popping a couple in here if we wanted to, but I might save up and see what happens. We'll possibly leave it and pop some in later. I'm going to get my 3D printer running right. It worked once and has been a tit ever since. Now see, from my understanding, and you know, as is so often the way, my understanding is limited at all times. But from my understanding, it's a lot of it is in the file setup. You need to get that file set up just perfectly for it to print. Because I also found a free model, because I mean basically it was a game rip, I think. So it was a free model of Tifa that took me ages to print off. The Vivi one, second time I tried it, because I didn't do decent enough supports for the first attempt of Vivi. I think specifically, I think it might have been his torso. Yeah, I think it was specifically his torso that didn't quite work. It just didn't attach to the printer properly, and just died on its arse and didn't print properly. But then I readjusted his torso slightly and got a better, and had a fiddle around with some of the other stats. But still. But then I've been tested with the same model that worked, thinking it's a balance of bad leveling and temp settings. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, they are finicky beasts. I feel like I've just managed to get into a bit of a sort of groove with mine, which has taken quite a length of time.
Hey, you know that really big Mirage we have? Why is it so huge?
It's more than the huge, it's mega.
Oh, I see. I'm assuming you're discussing the hair monster. No, it's a special thing. We've established it's a special thing, but you know. Hey,
Oh, ouch! We don't want that.
Casually walk over to you.
On top of them, right?
You surely can, but you'll need to use both your
Quite,
powers in battle.
it's quite good sort of diligentness to have the mouth moving, because you don't need it. But it's obviously been set up to be automatic. But you know,
sounds good. I'm the kind
whenever they talk, they do have their mouth move. And in this environment here, in this area, especially with the party not being completely, 100% with each other, it's one of those things where you really just do not need that, and they put it in anyway. And that's the sort of thing that you can sort of thumbs up and go, well done. And it's the little details sometimes. It's always the little details that really sort of make you go,
Shall we get started?
That's satisfyingly good. I like that. I like what you've done there. Trading the armor gems, because yes, I'm ideally hoping to get my hands on both Celeste and Cloud. Yeah, I can. Superb. Excellent. Would probably help if I didn't get an oddball cheap printer that doesn't even have a USB. Only prints from SD cards, even though the advert said it had USB. That's not great news. And yes, it's champion. Yes, champion medals I like. Champion jewels I'm not fussed by. Again, I really should try and look into the champion jewels idea, but it seems to be sort of like a replacement of the main characters. And as much as I like the other Final Fantasy main characters, I like being the main characters of this game slightly more so. So I don't know. I like being Rain and Lan as opposed to having them sort of change out to be the others. So I like summoning Final Fantasy characters. I don't necessarily want to be one. But yeah, no, I mean, mine's a fairly decent printer, I think. In the grand scheme of things, I don't know for certain. It's a tolerable printer, shall we say? And as I say, I had a fair amount of trouble early doors trying to get it all set up correctly and sort of get the perfect settings. And I finally feel like I've just about sort of hit kind of a decent position where it's like, yes, I feel confident in these now. Although having said that, I have recently changed up some of the settings, which I haven't subsequently tested. So it's one of those ones where I need to run it again to see if it will do something slightly better. But that's a future thing, because I need to figure out more things I actually want to print first as well. I've got ideas to try and get the Final Fantasy VII Shiva fiddled around with, because I found, again, just a rip of the remake game Shiva, and I'm in the process of figuring out whether I want to leave the rig that it's got in it and just try and work around the awkwardness of that rig, or do I want to run my own rig through it and as such try and figure out the best way to get a rig inside of it. So it's awkward. Fire is a weakness. Excellent. I do have fiery spells. What was your thoughts on thunder? Indifferent to thunder. Well, we don't really need bravery if we're going to be using fire from the boy, but we'll try incisors. Although, again, I suspect I should really check these first. Yeah, completely immune. I may replace the brain of the thing so I can manage it through the computer. Sounds complicated. Luckily, as I say, mine's pretty simplistic at this point. So, and that suits me down to the ground, I'd like to clarify. Simple things for simple minds is kind of what I require. We could throw down some pre-gens, but I do feel like maybe all-out aggression. Yeah, all-out aggression should work. 4 wires and 3 screws, pretty easy. That is not too bad. But, you know, I struggle with the idea of sort of years and years ago. I was significantly intimidated by the idea of changing a graphics card, and that's plug and play. It's always that thing of if this goes wrong. I'm not saying it will go wrong, but if this goes wrong, I've got a very expensive paperweight. So it's always, even the simplest of jobs I find slightly intimidating when there is that potential of it going horribly wrong. But fortuitously, I happily changed the graphics card, and as I say, it was one of those ones where I'd done so much research and stuff, and it surprised me at quite how plug and play it ended up being. There you go. Yes, grounding bracelet was crucial. I've kind of run out of stuff, so we'll just attack it. Could you stop doing that? Is there a possibility you could stop doing that? I wonder if Thundara is going to be slightly more accurate. Yes, or at least it hit, and that's the crucial thing. Ow, don't do that. God damn you. Need a cure. Oh, that's the one. Thunder! Thundara! And take Thunder. Stretch legs. Oh, that's the haste, and I'm assuming it feels like that's haste and evasion, but I might be wrong. Because it is now missing a lot more often, and it's clearly hasted. There is no doubt in my mind that it's been hasted. Thundercats! Oh god. Well, I was going to say, oh, that's an old one, but obviously it's had a new series fairly recently, I think. But I never really watched Thundercats, I don't think. Thundercats was one of those ones that passed me by, and I was like, no, I don't know. What is this? Cats of Thunder? I have no idea. many a sort of cartoon series I did watch back in the day. But, Cure, I think we definitely need. Not interested in the new stuff. I'm led to believe it's not that bad, but I have no actual capacity for an opinion on it because I've never watched it. But, I know I was surprisingly sort of pleasantly surprised by the Thunderbirds remake recently. Not necessarily the world's greatest of things, but it was equally not unpleasant to behold. Oh, how much health do you have? I'm unlikely to do 813. Unless Foxfire gets very, very attack happy. It did! I think in the grand scheme of things I made the right decision. Sometimes aggression is the better part of Valor. And if you're aggressive in Valor, that would make you the captain of a starship, I believe.
We did it, Boko. But I don't get it. What was that Chocobo's problem? Okay, guys. You're free to go. Oh, who are you?
That is an absolutely insane character, isn't it, Chocolina?
I have to say, you are really something. It takes one tough hombre to handle Hyperion.
And I suppose Hyperion must be that black Chocobo from before? I tell ya, that thing was more behemoth than Chocobo. And it's not often that Boko gets openly hostile toward anything. Oh, and by Boko, I mean this fella. I'm Bartz, and you are?
My name is Chocolate. I can see Boko is very smart. That, and he seems to have the same keen senses as my master.
Master?
She is a nut and her shop's expensive, yeah.
Say, Bartz, if you're planning a long journey, why don't you visit my shop before you go? I carry just the kind of
Don't do it,
items that
Bartz.
enterprising
We've just established her
adventurer
shop is too expensive.
needs. And I want
Don't
to
do it,
ask
my
you
friend.
more about those
Go
chocobos,
elsewhere.
too.
You'll find something
Wow.
cheaper.
You should have said that you run your own shop. Sure, we'll take you up on the offer. Right, Boko?
It is fascinating how much different 13.2 was to 13. And I don't just mean like different story, different characters, different X, Y, Z. It had a sort of such a distinctly different feel to it as well. Looks like there might be a Robo Chocobo there. A Robobo. I don't think they'd call it a Robobo. Maybe a Chocorobo. That would be weird.
Shall we get started?
But could be fun if we do find a Chocorobo. Oh, I should have tried. I wonder if I don't know if I was able to or not, but it's not unlocked the thing anyway. But yeah, I possibly should have tried capturing the black Chocobo, but then again, I'm not likely to use anything other than my regular flavoured Chocobo because it is named after Mr. Blue Boosh. And anybody who's had a name put in there, they're probably going to be sort of, you know, sticking around in the party. Twins room, let's go look at my documentations. Feels like that, yeah, potentially. Because as I say, oh, you are in a different place. Is that something I should be suspicious
Do you
of?
always have to dump your stuff all over the sofa?
Oh, I've just realised. I've clearly clicked a button I had... Oh, no, I know. I bet it was when we lost Rain, we automatically changed character. Now, I'm assuming no minigames again. That's fine. Let's see if there's any new information anywhere. No. Riku! Now, which bit is the new piece of information, obviously? Although she's about the same age as she was in Final Fantasy X, her outfit resembles the one she had in Final Fantasy X-2. In Grimoire, she still hasn't met Yuna or Tidus, but if she ever does, they're guaranteed to get along. And I do call it Tidus. Any regular Final Fantasy fans will possibly know that the correct pronunciation, quote-unquote correct pronunciation, is Tidus. But I don't like that pronunciation, and I am stubborn every now and again. So I call him Tidus, because I think it's better. Because the problem is, I've explained this before, but I'll go again. Problem with the name Tidus is, to me, it sounds too much like the word tedious. And considering who the character is, that's dangerous association. Plus, on the flip side, he has quite a lot of aquatic elements to his character. The underwater blitzball stuff, the sword that Walker gives him. It's all aquatic stuff, which makes a lot more sense to have tide us, as in the word tide, the water coming in and out, tide us. So Tidus, for me, is the correct pronunciation. However, I will acknowledge, at least, that in the real world, the world outside of my own brain, it is, in fact, considered Tidus. Riku is looking to make a career out of treasure hunting and has started recruiting members for her team, which she's calling the Gullwings. Riku bumped into Yuna on a recent excursion and immediately took a liking to her. Now, if she can just find a way to get Yuna to join up. Treasure wedgie la 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 la. Oh, this I think is definitely the new bit. Riku and Bart seemed to really hit it off, didn't they? Their combined optimism and contagious spirit of adventure must have created some sort of perpetual energy loop that charged their fun meters to the max. Even Ifrit couldn't help but get bowled over. Although Bart did seem a little more self-aware than Riku. Maybe he was just playing along. And then the captain of the guard. Interesting. I don't remember him having... Oh, I suppose he did have a fairly substantial amount of role when dealing with Vivi. The captain was tasked with providing support to the two key players in the plan to free Figaro, Rain and Lan, but in order to elude the Federation's agents, he disguised himself as a prisoner in rags. You can see the captain takes his job seriously. He spent hours writing all his lines, but let's face it, that was one ham and cheese sandwich of a performance. It goes without saying that his acting abilities are a regular topic of jokes in the barracks. The captain was convinced Vivi and the Black Mages were just more spies the Federation left lurking beneath Figaro. He tried everything in his power to oust them as traitors, but in the end, the purity of Vivi's heart won even the distrustful captain over. He is from the world of Final Fantasy, exclusively from the world of Final Fantasy. Oh, golly. Okay, well, let's find out some more about Vivi. I think it's going to be the bottom one. Yeah, I think it's this one. Seeing as Vivi gained sentience in Edgar's domain, or under it, if you want to nitpick, the king felt it was only right to give him and his brethren a chance to find their place and purpose in Figaro. Since then, Vivi in particular has begun to look up to Edgar, or just look up him. I mean, in fairness, he is quite small, but in this world, everybody's quite small, but nonetheless, as a leader and as an adult. Wait, is that okay? Edgar, a role model? Well, don't panic. Vivi's heart is pure enough to guide him along his own path. Probably. Are you worried about his future? Well, all of that works differently here in Grimoire, even if it is still uncertain. He is from Final Fantasy IX, as we already knew, in fairness. Mr. Bartz. Bartzy, which one do we think is probably new? Bartzy, I don't know, so I guess we'll read it all. We'll go with the bottom one. Nothing can contain Bart's boundless enthusiasm and thirst for adventure. With a sack over his shoulder and a song in his heart, as opposed to a song over his shoulder and a sack in his heart. He travels from place to place, a smile on his lips as he faces even the most hopeless of situations. He can even match the ever-exuberant Riku's excitement levels, and that's no easy feat. Perhaps Bart has doubts and worries like everyone else, and never lets them show. Or maybe he really is just that carefree. But once Bart decides to involve himself in something, he'll see it through to the end. Never give up, never surrender, is his motto, and he never has. Final Fantasy V, as I believe we established last week. And then, of course, Cloud, Final Fantasy VII. Ooh, he's good looking. As a character model. It's just such an I mean, the Buster Sword is just, it's quite simplistic, in fairness. You know, it's a cylinder and a slab, but it still just has that beautiful nature to it. Keep meaning to build a 3D version of that. I think it's one of those ones where you can't officially be a 3D artist until you've had a go of building your own Buster Sword. But yeah, I do love the design of Cloud. It is rather delightful. Buster Sword, Chocobo haircut, former member of Soldier, the quiet, serious type, keeps his cool, fights against the Federation with the League of S. Steve Burton. I don't know if that is the same voice as every other sort of modern day interpretation, but If it is, he does a very good job. And then Christina Rose plays Celeste. 18, library sentry in Tonetown, gallant and poised, buddy-buddy with Sid, part steely soldier, part romantic. Celeste and Sid go way back. The Advent Children version, yeah. But I'm assuming that's the one, I've not watched it in a while, but I'm assuming by that you mean the one that's like a dozen swords in one or something, isn't it? It's like got swords coming out of the swords that are coming out of the swords, and then there's more swords. And if he ever loses one, he's got more swords inside of the sword. But doesn't it? Yeah, I'm fairly certain it does collapse down into like a dozen different swords or some such. But I might be mistaken. I might be getting confused with someone else, perhaps. But I must watch Advent Children again. I must also. I think it's called Gladius. Is it called Gladius? The Final Fantasy 15 film. I really want to watch that again because I really enjoyed that. It was so I mean, it was over the top and ridiculous, but exactly what you wanted in a Final Fantasy movie. It was brilliant. I must play Final Fantasy 15 again, in fairness. I really want to have another crack at that one. Celeste and Sid go way back, and they're close as a result. He was the one who hired her to protect the Library of the Ancients. Now that Sid has become prone to rampages, the position has turned into a round-the-clock job. She's a little peeved about not being able to go out, but Sid likes Sid enough to let it slide most of the time. Celeste's time in the military has made her terse and businesslike when dealing with strangers, but once she gets to know you, she really opens up. And that is Final Fantasy VI, as we established earlier. And now Sid, I don't think... Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's World of Final Fantasy. Robot, maybe? Claims to be human. Talks fast. Bzeek. Hopeless bibliophile. Local library menace. 40 when he was a human, but his age in Grimoire is unknown. But yeah, he's unique to this game, which is almost a shame, because there are, as we established earlier on, there are plentiful Sids that they could have chosen that are perhaps better than a made-up weird robot Sid. But anyway. So, a slightly undersized but otherwise ordinary Choco Chick. Or is she? Despite its new look, this little Choco Chick appears to have the same soul as the one who lived in that guy's afro. You know which one. And yeah, they specify it's the Final Fantasy 13 origin, so it is the little Choco Chick that lived in Zaz's hair. I did enjoy Zaz as a character. He was such a brilliantly sort of perfect comic relief / tragedy, and I think they played it really beautifully. I enjoyed Zaz. Especially, I really liked his guns as well. So ridiculous sort of transforming guns from twin handguns to a rifle. So silly. I think maybe that one. No, that one. I think it might be the middle one. Yeah, I think it might be this one. The Grimoirian Ifrit has a reputation for being ill-tempered and violent, but contrary to public opinion, he is actually a very decent Mirage who cares deeply for the people of Grimoire. He's even taken it on himself to make sure no one accidentally stumbles into the Nether Nebula and gets hurt. To this purpose, he takes full advantage of the rumours about him, and leaps out to frighten any who wander in. His fondness for humans puts him in clear odds with another, less savoury Mirage in his tribe. Ooh, intriguing. There may be another Ifrit in our future. And, as specified, we did catch a little glimpse of Odin. And he is Final Fantasy III Odin as well. Which is, I mean, it is delightful, isn't it? Such a good design. I loved... Now, I assume us all being Final Fantasy fans, this is no spoiler. But, just in case, I'm going to just discuss the Final Fantasy VIII Odin. So if you are unaware of anything interesting that happens to the Final Fantasy VIII Odin, you might want to tune out now. But I think, being Final Fantasy fans, we all know the interesting thing that occurs when you have Final Fantasy VIII Odin, which of course is every now and again, he will pop in at the beginning and do his Zantetsu-kun maneuver, which will insta-kill everything, I believe, if memory serves. But then there's a fight. If you get him before a certain fight in the game, of course, he comes in and goes, I'm going to Zantetsu-kun this. And it's like, what? The first time, of course, it's like, what? Oh, has a chance to kill, is it? I thought it was just has a chance to turn up and it always killed. But nonetheless, there's this sort of one where it's like, what? You're going to do it against a boss? that's weird and never going to work, surely. And it doesn't, and he gets killed, of course, and then he gets reborn as something else whose name I can't remember. So, as is the normal way of my stories and memory, it started strong. It went up a little bit in the middle, and then petered out towards the end when you can't remember the information. But yeah, I can't. No, someone will have to put me out of my misery. What is the name of the second form that Odin takes in Final Fantasy VIII? I certainly know that it requires him to be killed off by Cypher, but for the life of me, I can't remember it. Yojimbo was cool in Final Fantasy X, yeah. With enough money, you could break the game for the most part, I believe, was the slight issue with Yojimbo. But then again, with enough money, it helped you to be able to break the game. It was distinctly useful. Right, let's see where our next destination is, but we are drawing to a close in the not too distant future, so we'll have a little savey wavy. We want to equip those I want to equip those mini medals as well. I've gotten distracted by a black chocobo. Yeah, so I probably could have captured that choco chick possibly. What do we have? Accuracy. I mean, accuracy is always going to be useful, but I must admit I'm slightly happy with those. Probably want to reset up that shortcut. Yeah, because I want you to be able to use Aurora. That's the one. That should be the only one. But in terms of design, I absolutely adored Yojimbo as well, because he is a delight to behold in that game. The Japanese armour and the little dog as well. Always enjoyed the little dog. God, I can't remember the name of the dog now either. Such a terrible memory. Inflict magical ice damage, Oblivion. Bypasses defense. I think they all do. Also restores AP to all allies. That is a powerful one. I'm surprised I'd forgotten that one, but it is super powerful. And we'll get Cloud on board as well with the Omni Slash. Beautiful stuff. So Celeste might actually find herself sticking around because the restoration of AP, magnificent move. Tip jar, we're never going to get through all the tips, so not worry about that exclamation mark. Right, just do one last cheeky little save and then find out which direction I'm supposed to be going. Possibly back to the Tome Town, because the graveyard seemed to just be a sort of straight up dead end. So travelling to... Well, it's just back to the Eclipsed region. Maybe there is sort of an offshoot that I did not appreciate or understand. Nope, it's just there. I'm assuming there is not a door in Tome Town, because it appears we are just going straight back to Tome Town. I suppose it's probably... Whoa, hey, that's weird. Well, that was an unexpected thing that sort of popped up and may have destroyed the world. I have no idea. We shall have to... Oh, yes, we've got people. People are here. People are there. People are living in the Tome Town. So now we can actually explore this place properly.
Oh, looks like everyone's back to normal now.
Yeah.
Another day has been saved.
We save all of the days.
Alrighty then. Next up is... What were we after again?
I don't know.
The Key of Tides.
Will Rain and the Lawn succeed in their noble adventure? Stay tuned.
Tama, hey, who gave you permission to cut to a commercial break? Put us back on the air.
And now, back to the adventures of Lawn and Rain and Tama and a bunch of mirages
We can
and
move.
Lawn.
Forgot we could move in that situation.
So, what are we doing? Anybody?
Well, there is a
Should
door
we
in
go pay
Tome
one
Town.
last visit to Celeste and Sid before we head out?
Yes, probably. Seems only polite. No, I don't want to travel. Save please. I'm going to use the save point here just in case, because I want to make certain that door registers for previous next occasions.
Oh, so you made it through unscathed?
Yes, and so did you,
Not long
because
after
now
all the
you're
trouble
no
started
longer
going
a sort of
down, this person
vampire.
with a ghastly pale face attacked me. I thought
Bit
I was
harsh.
a total goner.
I've got a ghastly
But
pale
then
face.
this total
I don't attack
dreamboat
people.
with this huge sword came along and rescued me. I wish I could thank him somehow, but I have no idea.
I'm not the
where
only
he
one
went
with
afterwards.
save OCD in RPGs. Oh, I think everybody's got save OCD, especially in RPGs. It's one of those ones where I think it probably comes from old school RPGs, because that moment when you lose and you go, when did I last save it?
Of course, I can't remember any of it.
Ha. Or, of course, the worst one. I think this may have happened to me once, but I can't remember the game. But it did say, oh no, I tell you, yeah. I suppose arguably, I was just thinking of a general save file corruption. But there's a couple of games that I can think of that I've fallen foul of this, which is why a lot of the time I do now have sort of a rotating save system, for the most part on occasions. Depends on the game. If I know the game, it's like, okay, that's you know, something. That's interesting. That's not necessarily the way I want to go first. But yeah, some games I know how it works, and therefore I'm not too fussed about having multiple saves, sort of rotating through those multiple saves. But other games, if I don't know precisely how they're going to work, I get sort of multi-save paranoia as well, and need to sort of really save constantly. But the two offenders that sort of caused that behaviour. Oh god, what the fuck is the name of the bastard thing? Oh god, you're so good at things that require memory. Anything that requires brain power, you're really good at. You know that, don't you? Yeah, I know. I'm very special. No, that one's gonna not turn up. Lost Odyssey, though, I think is the other one. Is it Lost Odyssey? No, I don't think that's the one either. Last Judgment. Last Judgment. We sort of got there in the end. Last Judgment. Now, to a certain extent, I don't know how I completed that game, because apparently I went completely against the way the game system works, and therefore made it so much harder for myself. But nonetheless, I got to a point in that game where you get locked into a dungeon that you cannot train in, and therefore I couldn't grind my way out of the difficulty spike that the boss presented. And so it was like, okay, I am now stuck, because I cannot beat that boss, and I cannot train to try and beat that boss. Excellent. This is not what I wanted. And so, yeah, just completely, that was it. That was the end of the game for me. I could not progress. Eventually, I did go back and restart it and did it better, and as I say, but that's the other thing that where you get that save obsession from, is when you realise you've saved yourself into a corner and you can no longer get out. Besaid?
Good.
Oh wow! Straight up Besaid. Fair enough.
Whatever it's called, here we come.
That's Final Fantasy X for anybody. I don't think anybody sort of.
Oh, good.
I think we're all of a mind that we all knew that, but I'm still excited. Very excitable little child. Where's the star? Oh, the star is just straight out of here. Yeah, so we just want to. We won't worry too much about that. We'll try and find the exit. I'll find the exit. But yeah, playing RPGs and going hours without saving is just asking for trouble. You will not get that here. No, that's not entirely true. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is another one I tend to play.
Terrible. What am I gonna do?
That's on Thursday. Thursdays at 9 PM UK time. I play Dragon Quest Builders 2, and it's got a degree of autosave, but not that great. So, but I tend to get too carried away. That's the other issue that sometimes happens. You get too carried away, and it's like, yeah, no, I'm just enjoying playing the game. What? You haven't saved it in 2 hours? No, now I must save it like 300 times, just to be certain. Oh, do I actually have the 2 spell stones? Can I find them super quickly? No, apparently not. It's fine. There is another quest over the way here. We'll try. We'll activate the quests. I won't necessarily care about doing them.
I've got a little request.
Really? Well, you keep your little request to yourself, sir.
Is there any chance you can take care of them?
Finished the first Dragon Quest Builders. Is the second one good enough to jump to it? I think so. Personally, I think they improved pretty much everything.
All you have to do is head to the train graveyard and take out
Am I willing to say that? I think I might be willing to say that in an incredibly high-pitched voice. But I think I'm willing to stake. I have very little reputation, so it's not like oh, I'm going the wrong way again. But I do believe they improved everything. It's a very good game. Plus, it helps that I think I've played both of them.
Chapter 18.
But I had them originally on the Switch,
and the Quattro Queen.
and the only one that's available on PC for sort of doing this streaming malarkey without a capture card system. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is the only one available on PC.
Look over there. I think I see some lights that weren't there before.
Oh,
That's the north
creepy.
of us. Maybe the train will take us to the upper the continent.
Okay. Creepy station where the creep... Oh, again, caught out by the fact that what have I been playing lately, I wonder, that's got automatic transitions? I don't know. In fairness, I've been playing a lot of point-and-click games, so none of them have automatic transitions. So I don't know why I've got in my brain that you just run to the edge of the map and it moves you off to the next section, but still.
Maybe they're doing construction.
No.
Not him.
Yes, me.
If the conductor is
Don't
here,
be
then the
rude
train
to the
must be up
conductor,
in the running.
Cactua. Rain.
How can he be in so many places?
I said don't be. Stop it.
I'm everywhere my passengers need me. The nitty-gritty technical details are a trade secret.
Hush!
Nice try.
You're never going to catch him.
So, Mr. the Conductor, sir, is the train running? Does it go to the upper the continent?
Of course it does.
That speech pattern
Go
is
on then. All aboard.
very grating.
But first,
Tama is possibly one of the worst characters, and I'm going to say it, in gaming history, I think. Such an annoyance. Been using a cat card called Mirrorbox. Good, inexpensive solution that just works. Nice. Don't know why. It's mostly because my consoles are sort of set up elsewhere, and I don't know. I only just recently, and by recently I mean like last year. I'm very slow moving.
I've heard the summer out there
But I only just recently sort of revamped my entire area for the sake of getting a sort of work desk. Well, not work desk, miniature painting desk. Yes, I will try and imprison a Lady Mirage. I can do that. So the idea of trying to sort of revamp and reposition every console is not hugely appealing. And for the most part, a lot of games you can just get on PC now. So I end up just getting them on PC. A Dancer's Dilemma. Oh, can I actually complete that then? Yes. Excellent. Which one? I mean, which one I wondered triggered that, but still. All set up in the living room and all on the same TV, so that wasn't an issue. Nah, there. It's one of those ones where most of my primary consoles are sort of in the TV, sort of in a downstairs area, and the laptop and streaming gizmos are very much located on an upstairs situation, which makes it slightly awkward. It would require a fairly heavy duty, you know, fiddling and farting around trying to get them located in the same location situation, and I am lazy beyond belief. Alright, we'll do that, and then I'm just going to check in this menu. Which one do we think? A couple of monitors. I mean, certainly I've always had a second monitor because that just makes life so much easier. But yeah, any obvious female? I suppose no is the answer. She wanted a... Oh, I suppose actually it's in... I think it's in the adventure log, isn't it? Because despite being completed, it does... Dancer's Dilemma, that's the one. So do we have the information? Right. Bring her a Lady Mirage to help her reclaim that boogie mojo. So who... It's bugging me substantially. Who's classified as a Lady Mirage that would help with dancing? Because none of them... Zapped I wouldn't necessarily call gendered. Tama maybe, but then why would you need to capture one if Tama counted? I don't think Blue Boosh would be considered a lady or a dancer. Can't Sleep I don't think much of a lady or dancer. Moogles aren't particularly feminine, I don't think. Slap, maybe? The cat factor? Valifor, plausibly? Don't necessarily know if I'd consider Valifor. I mean, it's really genderless in fairness, but Ifrit, Robo-Bottom. I definitely don't think Robo-Bottom would count, so... Unless it just counted every single Mirage I have, not necessarily the Mirages on me, but that would be weird. Anyway, let's put another save down, because we want to make sure we've seen the save. We're happy we've seen the save, now we can go back to the menu. Back when I played EVE Online, I ran dual box on PC with 6 monitors. Good lord. That is quite something. I must admit, I probably couldn't go back to a single monitor. Well, I struggle to go back to a single monitor. I have been back to a single monitor since having 2. But 2 is optimal, I find. But there is an element where wouldn't go amiss having a third might not go amiss, but then again I've got all the windows I require here on 2 screens, so it's, you know, sometimes it's just about what you need. But anyway, there we go. If it wasn't obvious, that's the putting it away time for Final Fantasy, World of Final Fantasy. As specified, that is what happens every time I try to describe the title of that game. It becomes Final Fantasy, World of Final Fantasy. But there you go. That's one of those things that happens. That's one of those things that occurs. Do we have enough for people? I'm not convinced, so I don't think I will bother doing a raiding time. I don't think we shall do the raiding time. No siree. No sirrah. So at this point we will, however, go through a couple of our doings as we so often do. We'll go to the interim slideshow, and then if you are looking for entertainment goodness tonight, and that is 9 o'clock, approximately 9 o'clock UK time. Oh dear, stop doing that. I've opened a browser window and it's causing the world to collapse, it would seem. Please stop the world from collapsing now, if you would be so kind. There we go, I think we're okay. If you're after some gaming goodness for tonight, I cannot remember what he's playing. Yes, I can. He's playing Diablo 2. So if you are after some Diablo 2 action in your life, 9 o'clock tonight, you have Mr. Malice Caliber. And he is... interesting clip. Might have to insist that he's going to do some singing, but I feel like this is just a clip of his break, which, I mean, I suppose it's lovely because I built that image for him. But other than that, dear. Yep, no, that was gonna have to get him to tidy up his clips at some point, which he probably won't do. But anyway, if you are around on the morrow, and that is again 9 o'clock, but Sunday, 9 o'clock on the Sunday, then you might enjoy the miniature painter, Mr. Can't Sleep Must Paint.
There's a constant rhythm to everything in Hamilton, because you can tell if you wrote down some lines from something that Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote, I can tell you it's him. You need to use some milliput to make a teeny tiny rocket rabbit trying to nick Bucky's arm. Oh yeah, I do. I just hit my world's largest nose.
There are so many clips of him smashing his body parts into something else. No. But anyway, that's tomorrow night at 9 o'clock if you were so inclined. I will be back Wednesday, I believe, is going to be the next one. I don't know. There may be something tomorrow. I haven't decided, but I might bring Sunday afternoon at home back. I don't know. But nonetheless, it'll be Wednesday, 4:30 for the Hodgepodge of Hilarity, and then Thursday, 9 o'clock for Dragon Quest Builders 2, followed by Graveyard Keeper. And then we'll be back next week for SaturJay RPG. So at this point, there is nothing left for me to say other than cheerio and then put the stream away. So here goes. Cheerio.